Honorable members, shall we pray? Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, even though today marks the beginning of the week, I will indulge you to skip item 2. But I want us to attend to item 3, the recitation of the national pledge. National pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers. And I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. Thank you very much. Honorable members, let's turn to item 6. Item 6, correction of votes and proceedings and that of the official reports. We will start with votes and proceedings of Friday, 13 June 2025. We start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page number 8. And finally, page 9. Yes, Honorable Member for Afajatu.
Speaker, thank you very much. Page 9, item 9, line 8. There is a word which is supposed to be member and is wrongly spelled. If the clerk at table could take note and delete
Yes.
and correct accordingly.
Very
Thank
well.
you.
Moved by the Honorable Minority Leader and Member. Thank you, my brother. Table, kindly take note. Yes, Honorable Member for Kwadaso, Professor Nyako.
Honorable Speaker, on same item 9, line 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth line, members' motion listed as item number 16. This a nuance observation. Number 16 is not wrong, but normally when Mr. Speaker sits in the chair, he will indicate item numbered. So I want us to check and be sure whether to be item numbered 16 or the number 16 is correct.
But what do you see? Have you checked yourself?
So that's why I said earlier on that I don't see any sharp distinction between the, but that is what I hear Mr. Speaker always saying, item numbered so and so. Then under adjournment 10, the last sentence, o'clock in, we should separate o'clock from in. This is a minor observation that we need to separate. There's not o'clock in, it is o'clock in.
Very well.
Thank you.
Table, kindly take note of. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, respectfully, the correction that my brother Octanyaku seeks to effect cannot be, because this is a reproduction of the item number as captured on the order paper the day of the proceedings that we are correcting. So it cannot be stated in the past tense. It's a reproduction of what was captured in on the order paper.
Fair to my respected chiefship, my point is that I've made an observation and I'm seeking your guidance per what is captured here and from what I hear Speaker saying when he sits in the chair. So this is something I'm asking from you. Thank you.
So, Honorable Professor Kinsenyako, once I sit here, my advisor is the clerk. This one is a motion, and that was the test that was admitted. So normally, proceedings is just what transpired. So I think it is right. But the adjournment time that you also drew attention to, I've asked the table to acknowledge that correction. Yes, Honorable Deputy Whip, Majority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. Sorry to take you back to page 6. Last Friday, I was on parliamentary official duty outside the country, and I sought permission to that effect, but I've been marked absent.
How was the permission sought?
Oh, it's part of the records, but maybe it escaped them. So I just want to bring to their attention that I was on official duty.
Very well. Table, kindly take note, check the leave of absence. If Honorable Deputy Majority Leader is captured, please go ahead and effect the corrections. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 13 June 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, I have in my hands the 4th June 2025 edition of the official report. 4th June 2025 edition of the official report. Yes, Honorable Professor Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, on column 10, under minority chiefship, line number 9, if you indulge me, I'll read from yesterday. The Minister for Finance was in the House. He apprised us of statutory payments effected. District Assembly's Common Fund, National Health Insurance Authority, and Ghana Education Trust Fund. My concern is that even though it is something the leader said, I'm thinking that National Health Insurance Authority is not a fund. Probably he had said fund, but the fund was not captured because it has here National Health Insurance Authority, which is not a fund. So I had to contact him, and it seems that the fund is omitted. So we need to check some of these things. Otherwise, if we say that verbatim report, at times the HANA office can unintentionally omit some words that will make the test not quite meaningful. So this observation I'm bringing to your attention.
Well. Yes.
Speaker, thank
Honorable
you for
Majority Whip.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, column 114, paragraph 4. What I said
Which page? Which page?
Speaker, page 114, I should say, yes. Column 2.
Page 114. Can you hold on to finalize what Professor Nyakon just said?
Great.
Because I'm not actually in the same page with him.
Oh, so this is official report 12 June 2025, column 10. Column 10 under minority chief whip. I'm saying that if you read from
yesterday,
the Minister for Finance was in the House. He apprised us of statutory payments effected. District Assembly's Common Fund, National Health Insurance Authority, then Ghana Education Trust Fund. And I'm saying that the National Health Insurance Authority is not a fund. So there's a possibility of an omission of fund. So it should be National Health Insurance Authority Fund, not just the authority.
So help us with the.
So either he used the establishment, but I'm saying all that's lacking is the fund. Otherwise, the fund is called National Health Insurance Fund. But because he said National Health Insurance Authority, then it's appropriate to add a fund to it to make it meaningful. Because the authority in itself is not a fund. That was why I had to discuss with him for it to allow me to pick the matter up. Thank you.
Anyway. Yes, table. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief.
Speaker, 2 small corrections. Page 63, column 1, paragraph 6. The comment standing in my name.
Page 63.
Yes. Column 1. The page 63. The comment standing in my name. You should read, Mr. Speaker. That may be the prayer from him when we started. The hymn is missing.
Yes.
Then page 114. Again, the statement standing in my name. Mr. Speaker, we have under urgent questions, that is item number 7. We have 1 outstanding in the name of Honorable Osahin. So the 1 has been repeated.
Yes. Okay.
1 should be deleted. Thank you very much.
Okay. Table, kindly acknowledge the corrections. Any further? Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official report of 4th June 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, again, I have the official report of 5th June 2025. 5th June 2025. I take it again, the official report of 5th June 2025. Yes, my brother.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, column 38, the sentence that begins with Mr. Abuja, the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the
Column 38, let me follow
column
you.
38, yes, please.
Yes.
The paragraph that begins with Mr. Abuja.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the preamble of my answer suggested that this project is a very important project and indeed very dear to everybody, including the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I think it should be former Vice President instead of the Vice President.
Very well. Thank you very much. So, table, kindly acknowledge that corrections should be former Vice President. Yes. Any further? Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official reports of 5th June 2025 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honorable members, before we move on, let's turn to the public gallery. We have our children who have come all the way to witness their representatives. We have 3 schools, and the first school is Presec Basic 1 and Presec Basic School. They are being led by Hannah Nai, who is a civic educator, NCCE, and the school is located at Medina constituency. I hope the member is not here. So they are 120 in number. So you may resume your seat. The second school is Journalists International School. Journalists International School. They are here being led by Christine Pobi, who is the assistant headmistress, and the school is located at Pong Katamanso constituency. Pong Katamanso constituency. The member is also not here. And they are here, the number is 58. 58. The last school, you may resume your seat, please. The last school is University of Mines and Technology. University of Mines and Technology. They are being led by Emmanuel Jan Ansa, who is the Speaker, UMAT Students Parliament. UMAT Students Parliament. And the school is located at Takwa in Suayim. And they are 34 in number. Yeah, I can see the member of parliament for Takwa and Suayim. Yes, your students are here. Are you aware that they are here? Very well. So you are welcome. I hope you will be monitoring what is going on here, and that should urge you to study hard so that tomorrow you can also take over from us when we are not here. You are welcome once again. Thank you. Honorable members, we will turn to item 7, statements. Item 7, statements. Yes, Honorable Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, before we turn to item 7, Speaker, Order 67, that speaks to order of business. And if I may reference the business statement that was adopted by this respected House for this week. We are scheduled to have 2 ministers. Environment,
What?
2
Yeah.
ministers
2 ministers.
for today.
But
The Minister for Environment.
Today we don't have
Speaker,
questions.
that is the original schedule. It was captured by the business statement. The Minister for Environment, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, they are scheduled to be here today. In fact, let me commend my good friend on the other side, my chief whip, the majority chief whip. In fact, for the past 3 days, he has shown distinction in terms of reaching out, making follow-ups, and doing all he has to do. But it's not complete. Can he tell this House what occasioned the sudden vanishing of these 2 questions from the order paper? He must profess some reasons why the questions are not on the order paper and the ministers are not here. I am not surprised the ministers are not here. But why is the question vanished from the order paper? He must tell this House something. And I demand to know reasons why the questions are not on the order paper.
It could be that the ministers are not here. That could be the answer. Because personally, he will answer. Personally, yesterday, I had wanted to do some business at the Ministry of Trade. I went there, the minister, I'm told, has traveled. So, anyway, Majority Chief Whip, just address the
Speaker.
issues raised by your colleague.
Speaker, may I, before I answer my brother, may I pray you to vary the order of business so that we take other paper addendum and then
We will
but-
take it. We are going to take
Grateful,
it definitely.
grateful,
Just
Mr. Speaker.
respond to him.
Let me go. Let me leave the generals. Move to the specifics. My brother is aware. In fact, he has copies of the letters. In fact, by procedure, he's copied. He has all the letters from these ministers who have humbly prayed the House to have their time with us today, scheduled to some other time. Indeed, some of them will be here tomorrow, including our own brother, the Honorable Minister for Rules, who is scheduled for Thursday, for instance. But for some circumstances, he's rather praying that the matter be shortened to tomorrow. So he will be here. The others are asking that they be rescheduled to next week. And the Honorable Chief Whip, Minority Chief Whip, has these letters. And yet, he wants to knock my ribs in the public on this matter. And these are acceptable protocols. When the ministers are unavoidably absent, that's the language of our standing order. They pray for extension of time to come back to do this. Honorable Anodon pray. Let's proceed to lay the paper that we can do business. I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in that case, may we...
Speaker, my colleague should take this in good stride. The Right Honourable Speaker has cautioned us the usage of the expression unavoidably absent. What does it mean? Speaker, let me count, Speaker, with your indulgence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mr. Speaker, Abba.
Honorable members, I could see that the Minority Chief Whip really came prepared for this particular.
Speaker, he should be patient and listen to me. Can he sit down? Speaker, can you impress upon him to sit down and allow me to speak? Speaker, 11 letters historically submitted within 2 weeks. Abba, this has never happened in this House. 11 letters saying that I am going to visit some envoys, I'm going to meet some delegation. What is that? This is the Parliament of the Republic. And Speaker, more to the point, some of these ministers, they have able deputies. Chief Whip, Mr. Speaker, some of these ministers, in fact, most of these ministers who have written, they have able deputies. Now, is it the case you don't even have confidence in your deputy ministers? When the substantive ministers are not there, the ministers can come and answer the question. Speaker, the problem is that the questions are compounding. The last time we went for business committee meeting, the clerks lamented that the questions are compounding and we are adding insult to injury by just submitting, I don't want to say flimsy excuses, all manner of excuses. We cannot come to, Speaker, it's becoming a trend and I am worried.
Thank you.
Speaker, this is the only tool that we have as members of parliament to elicit response from. Can you sit down? Speaker, to elicit response from
He's your
our
friend, though.
ministers.
He's your friend.
He's my friend too. And they will show up. Speaker, some consequential directives. Speaker, I pray your consequential directives. That this should become, we must all put an end to this. And let me send a very respected message to His Excellency the President. Mr. President, there are many capable MPs here who can do the job. Honorable Ahi, for instance, he can be a minister. Mr. Speaker, so the President, His Excellency the President, should consider his first salvo. I think Honorable Ahi, he's prepared.
Honorable Chief Whip, where we are going?
Honorable colleagues,
Honorable Chief Whip, where we are going is sleeping.
I have withdrawn that. I have withdrawn. He said, I don't want any trouble. He cannot sit down. So, Speaker, the President should consider other capable, and you see the way they are looking at me.
Well noted.
I'm concluding.
Your concern is well noted.
I'm concluding. Speaker, I am your friend. He should take it in good stride. He should develop a thick skin. And he should take that. When he was here, he was throwing salvos. Now he can't even take it. Our colleagues are at the back. They are all yearning, and they can do it. The ministers who are not showing respect, and I don't want to mention, if I mention the road minister's name now, they will say that I'm biased. But in actual fact, so that you bear witness, he is always in the chamber.
Yes, that's right.
The other minister should take a cue. Chief Whip, you are working. Your ministers are making your work difficult. Without more, I thank you for your audience.
But Honorable Anodom, with this admonition, I think henceforth, if the substantive minister is not here and the deputy comes to answer questions, we will take it in our strides that they are part of the ministry. Because most of the time, the deputy will come and we will be resisting as well. So based on what we are saying, I think if the substantive minister is not here and the deputy comes here to answer questions, we will allow the deputy to do that.
The mood of the House will determine that.
Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, just to say that the foreign minister, one of the core functions of the foreign minister's jobs is to also meet with envoys. So it shouldn't be whimsically said that he wrote to Parliament because he wants to go and meet envoys, as if it's not important. So that having been said, Speaker, may I pray you that, you see, the ministers are coming. You see, they're coming. Mr. Speaker, may we take the other paper addendum, the item on the other paper addendum. Thank you very much.
Yes, other people are then, we've seen it. You see, we had conclave. At least just keep us informed. This is a surprise, leader. Really?
Honorable members, we are varying the order paper. We are now entering into public business. So let's turn to order paper addendum. Order paper addendum. The Minister for Finance.
Speaker, the minister responsible for finance and his deputy are unavoidably absent. Mr. Speaker, so may we pray that the honorable minister responsible for roads and highways do this for us. Respectfully.
Yes, Honorable Minority Chief Whip. Your own friend is being called to do that.
He has set a trap for me.
Why?
He knows when he says the road minister, I will not object. Because I have the road minister is dutifully present always in the chamber. But this is about debt restructuring. This is debt restructuring. Having said that, because he's the road minister, I will agree that he should lay it.
Yeah, respectfully, Honorable Governor Kwame Abuja, you may do as the honors.
Indicative debt restructuring terms between the Republic of Ghana, represented by the Ministry of Finance, and the participating creditor countries of the Official Creditor Committee, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, China, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, India, Israel, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, Norway, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America.
Honorable members, the paper is duly presented. It is referred to the Finance Committee, and I will ask that the leadership of the Economy Committee join the Finance Committee to look into the paper and report back to the House. Yes.
Speaker, may we humbly return to the original order paper and deal with item number 7, statements.
Hold on. Oh, yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I heard you say that you adding the leadership of Committee of Economy.
Yes.
I think to be better placed with budget, so we can add the leadership of Budget Committee. Because if you look at their mandate, they are in charge of budget preparation and budget implementation. So,
well noted.
Thank you.
Well noted. Because these 3 committees were earlier on one committee. Yes. So the leadership of Budget Committee may also join to look into this paper.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Yes.
Speaker, humbly, may we now turn to the original order paper, item number 7, statement. Speaker, we deferred a lot of statements meant for last week. So, Speaker, we'll leave that discretion for you to prioritize those that have been admitted so members can have their bites, Mr. Speaker.
Well. We have so many of them. So I'm just going through which one you take at least to share from to the various sides. So we take one here, we take one here. So we will begin with Honorable Dr. Stephen Amoa. And is going to talk about entrepreneurship part of Ghana's basic and SHS educational curriculum. So, Honorable Dr. Stephen Amoa, you may take the floor and read your statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this prestigious opportunity. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is a pleasure to have this opportunity to present a statement on another critical national issue, which is the impact of entrepreneurship on the global economy and the need to consider that as a course in both Ghana's junior high school, JHS, and senior high school, SHS, academic curricula. Entrepreneurship is the ability to set up a new business and develop one's own business with the intention of making profit instead of relying on one's already created by another individual or corporate body. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of compelling reasons for the above proposition to be accorded the needed national and executive attention. Entrepreneurship has played a remarkable role and indeed become an integral part of the global economy. It has impacted the economy by creating jobs, stimulating economic stability, and reducing poverty in the world. Mr. Speaker, the job market in Ghana is congested, leaving most of the youth in an undesirable employment space. The unemployment rate in Ghana has tremendously contributed to most of the antisocial behaviors in Ghana, including insecurity, robbery, drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, and sexually transmitted diseases. Mr. Speaker, the Data Institute of Statistical, Social, and Economic Research indicate that only about 10% Ghanaian graduates secures employment within a year of graduation. Besides, the Statistical Service survey indicates that graduates' job hunting during its period of graduation has become extremely tedious, cumbersome, and laborious task for them. In Ghana, according to the Ghana Education Sector Report, about 109,874 graduates from the university education annually get their completion. However, only 10%, Mr. Speaker, of this number secures regular jobs within that period of their graduation. Mr. Speaker, the way to go all over the world is entrepreneurship, as private sector is the engine of global socio-economic growth. It was entrepreneurs who replaced home kerosene lamps with a brighter and cleaner burning gas in the middle to late 18th. Those ones also were displaced by a better electric light system, and later came fluorescent lighting. Entrepreneurs invent a lot of new technologies, computers, the World Wide Web, the spreadsheet, and the new improved drug technologies. Mr. Speaker, entrepreneurship is the key to dealing comprehensively with the graduate unemployment in Ghana. A lot of our talent, out of frustration, engage in a lot of illicit socio-economic ventures and even leave the shores of Ghana in search of green pastures. These factors have affected Ghana's skilled labor and are highly dysfunctional to the performance of our republic. The unemployment situation has a degree of integration when it comes to insecurity and an unstable economy. Mr. Speaker, a developing economy such as Ghana, which has been endowed with a wide range of economically viable raw materials and natural resources, offers an entrepreneurial opportunity for job creation. Mr. Speaker, there are, however, many setbacks to our quest to create a sustainable entrepreneurial ecosystem in Ghana as a substitution or supplement policy. We have a very weak entrepreneurial ecosystem as a country. The interactions among the relevant stakeholders in the entrepreneurial ecosystem lack not only the requisite structural and functional capacity, but also the effectiveness to augment the employment capacity of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of proposed solutions, including redefining our corporate focus as a country, government being intentional about entrepreneurship in its major policy decisions, realigning and harmonizing the key stakeholders in our ecosystem. Mr. Speaker, apart from creating jobs, boosting Ghana's economy, and diminishing government burden, entrepreneurship, if well integrated, will go a long way to answer most of our economic questions as a sovereignty. Additionally, it will play an illustrative role in Ghana's import-driven agenda and realization. Mr. Speaker, the most needed solution being the import of this statement is the advocacy for the inclusion of entrepreneurship as a core course in the junior high school, the academic curriculum, and as elective in the senior high school academic curriculum. Mr. Speaker, I have already taken the needed steps and have unofficially contacted the education minister, who has given me the needed warm and not the frigid reception, as he deems that as very integral in a developing economy such as Ghana. I am accordingly proposing that the relevant stakeholder bodies, particularly Education Ministry, take the needed steps to expedite action on the inclusion of entrepreneurship in our JHS and SHS academic curricula. This will increase the entrepreneurship appetite of our youth to start and develop their own businesses. Mr. Speaker, once again, I thank you for honoring my request for the permission to present this very important statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, a statement on entrepreneurship has been read to us. We have so many statements, so we will take two comments from each side, and we will move to another statement. Yes. Honorable member, is it Kintampo?
Yes, Kintampo
Kintampo, yes.
Kintampo is Kintampo. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this statement ably made by Honorable Amwa, who we popularly call Sticker. Mr. Speaker, that is the way to go. Entrepreneurship is the way to go as a nation. Narrowing it down to the basic level is where I want to have a bite on. And that is perfect in the sense that, Mr. Speaker, the developed countries, the way they teach their children, even at the nursery level, practicalizing everything at that level is what has made them to develop faster than we do. Mr. Speaker, in Germany, You won't believe it. Day nursery children are taught how to bake bread and other things. You won't believe it, in Germany and other countries. So by the time they get to even primary school, they are able to use their own hands to do certain things. Mr. Speaker, at the primary level, same country, they keep asking them at a level, what do you want to become in future? If you state that you want to be a mechanic, they have the academic lesson designed in such a way that there are days you go for the normal classes and use a different period to be attached to a mechanic or a facility that they teach you how to go about mechanical issues. And that is the way to go. So the proposal or the suggestion that we should let entrepreneurship be part of our basic school curriculum is a welcome idea. And I feel, Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't just take this statement as a light issue and drop it in the chamber here. A good referral, Mr. Speaker, I am appealing, would do the trick. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Yes, let me move to Manshia South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very brilliant statement, and it's very important we place a lot of emphasis on it. Mr. Speaker, when you go to a country like Germany, it's the entrepreneurs, particularly small-scale enterprises, that provide the needed employment for people. But when you come to our country, the contrary is what prevails. There's a lot of emphasis on employment in the public sector because there are very little opportunity, especially in the private sector. And so these are the gaps that, Mr. Speaker, the private sector, particularly the entrepreneurial community, Mr. Speaker, this is where they fail in. Mr. Speaker, I believe that there should be a training respectfully for entrepreneurship. But unless we we are deliberate in creating the market for local businesses, local content, Mr. Speaker, you can train as many people as possible, but Mr. Speaker, it will yield no fruit. When you look at our country's educational journey, Mr. Speaker, following the Jobo Committee report of 1973, which stated that intermediate education in Ghana should consist of vocational, science, agricultural, and technical education, there was a clear indication that we're moving towards building an entrepreneurship base. Subsequently, government after government have made considerable funding, investment into the sector. But Mr. Speaker, unless we create the necessary market, we'll churn out a lot of entrepreneurs and they'll be frustrated. Mr. Speaker, when you come to my own Manshia constituency, historically, when you talked about furniture making in Ghana, it was a hub. Talk of a champon furniture, talk of chair furniture, talk of insunyamiche furniture. Because of that, there were a lot of people within the community that went to learn how to make furniture. But what has happened to them now? They have collapsed. Why? Because there's a lot of importation of furniture from outside of this country. And so local furnitures are being, Mr. Speaker, pushed out of the market. And so people would then be demotivated from going into that industry. And so there has to be a deliberate effort on the part of government to use its purchasing power to create a market for local entrepreneurs. That will make it attractive. That will incentivize other people to go into entrepreneurship in Ghana. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go. You've pushed yourself into the middle group. Let me go to the back. Yes, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Which constituency?
Through East.
Pro-East, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to add a voice to the very statement by my landlord in Ashanti region. Speaker, I live in the Menshia in Shiaso constituency. So I want to contribute to this statement. In fact, it is something that we all have to, in a way, prioritize as a country. It will interest you to know that graduates from the university who pursue entrepreneurship and finance are out there on the job market looking for jobs. That is quite an intriguing one. We spend resources to train our youth in entrepreneurship and finance, and yet they flood the job market looking for government well-paid jobs to be recruited into. The question is, why then as a country do we have to have a special course or a program called entrepreneurship and finance? And yet the graduates from such programs end up looking for white-collar jobs on our market. It's a simple question, and the answer is well known to us. And this is because we haven't spent resources as a country to train up what we desire, what we want. Today, Mr. Speaker, it will interest you once again to know that we have young artisans who are into the POP designs, who are into the design of some mortar and bricks, who are being moved or being migrated from neighboring countries like Togo. And when they come, they take up the jobs, they don't sleep. They work 24/7 to get this work done. And contractors in this country are paying huge sums of money to these young ones. Yet we have CTVET, where they are responsible to give accreditation to our young entrepreneurs who have learned artisanal skill. The question is, as a country, are we serious to make this thing happen for our young ones? The question the entrepreneur will tell you, or the businessman will tell you, or the estate developer will tell you is that when you give work to our people, they're lazy about. But when you give it to an outsider, an immigrant, he spends the whole night working. So something you need for like 24 hours, you get it done. You give it to a local, and it is not done. Can't we have proper legislation? Can't we have proper framework to get these things done? If not, we'll come to the chamber, statement will be read, everything will be done, yet we will not have the impact on the ground. Mr. Speaker, one thing I want as a house to know is that until we take up entrepreneurship into a different level, there is no way our economy is going to be stable. Because the only way to make things work for us as a country is to identify these artisanal ones and make them work. As we speak, we have blacksmiths in our own environment. Their work are gradually being tilted down. Because what we know them to be doing is this saucepan, the aluminum one, or some of them are into the molding of these local guns, and the blacksmiths are nowhere to be found in work. Yet, the Ghana Army, the police, and all our security services who use gun in their operation go to buy and import basic gun parts, which could have been done by this well artisanal, trained with high intellect. We've neglected them, and we go importation. The question is, who do you give the money to? The Chinese man who has completed year 3 or level 3, who actually is not a diplomat, who is not a graduate, just an SS leaver or a middle school leaver, is able to put their hands to work on these basic things for us to go and import and bring into our country. Yet our blacksmiths, who are fending for their family members, fending for the whole community, are being left to rot because we have so much appetite for foreign product and not local product. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I will crave your indulgence. As the earlier speaker said, we shouldn't let the statement die on the shelves of the floor, but rather, I know you are going to give a good recommendation so that we'll sit at it, look at how we should go about it, and then get things done. My humble plea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go to Walwale, Honorable Dr. Kabilu. My brother, may you put off your mic? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement, together with the various presenters, have actually exhausted the need, the imperativeness of us having entrepreneurship being inculcated into our educational system. Mr. Speaker, I would want to take this discussion of the statement from the angle of the proposal, suggestion, recommendation made by the maker of the statement. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement is calling on necessary reforms that will include entrepreneurship to be at the heart of our educational endeavor. Mr. Speaker, this call is based on law. This call by the maker of the statement, it is what the Act 778, if I'm right, contemplates, the Education Act. Mr. Speaker, the Education Act was established for the development of education system that intend to produce well-balanced individuals. Mr. Speaker, emphasis, well-balanced individuals who have the requisite skills, values, knowledge, and attitude to contribute meaningfully to national development. If this is the intention, this is the spirit and the letter of that particular act, nothing stopped us from inculcating, in line with Section 3 of the same act, that the relevant progressive stages, basic, secondary, and tertiary education, has entrepreneurial elements so that the individual from infancy would get the skills of an entrepreneur. Mr. Speaker, the entrepreneurship is not just a function of education, it's a function of imagination. And imaginative skills are not just gotten from the classroom. As a young person, I grew up seeing my mother engaging in entrepreneurship. Most of us in this chamber, it is through the arts, the ingenuity, the creativity of our parents engaging in one trade or other, solving a problem in the community that has brought us this far. And if our parents of old could do this, what is stopping this current generation from embarking on similar adventure that would solve emerging problems? Mr. Speaker, we are in the era of robotics, artificial intelligence. These are all areas that we can use entrepreneurial skills. We can use the ability of the Ghanaian young person to create and imagine, to solve it. For instance, we complain about filth in our communities. We complain about water system. The young people can identify a problem that addresses community water, and that will be patronized by the community, not even government. But the moment we don't provide the right atmosphere for the people, for the young people to thrive, it becomes worse. So, Mr. Speaker, the caller, the maker of the statement, the Honorable Dr. Stephen Amwa, is making a call based on the law, based on the Educational Act. And I think that if you are so minded, the Education Committee of Parliament would have to really look at this particular statement and see whether or not our educational system is in tune with that imaginative requirement that the Act provides of the Ghanaian people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I've taken two from each side. That was my earlier indication, so I'll go to leadership. A leader can yield it to a backbencher. So I started with majority, so let him go to majority. Yes, Surveyor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks for the opportunity to have a bite on a statement ably made by senior speaker. Stephen Amwa, Honorable. I must say that the topic he raised, it's a very essential one. And I'm happy that he wants us to start from the JHS and also to the senior high school. It's necessary because the type of education we have these days is more tailored towards academic excellence only in the classroom. And we do not think seriously about what we do after we attain all the academic laurels that we fight for. And so it is commonplace now to see a lot of PhD holders, degree holders, HND holders, and they are all in the job market seeking for jobs that are not existing. I always use myself as an example for a lot of the people who come to seek advice and support from me, especially in seeking for job opportunities to do. I've always told them that until I came to Parliament January this year, I've never officially received salary from anybody or any institution because I've all along worked as a self-made person. I've gone through the entrepreneurial skills, doing all manner of things until I got here. Even after my professional training, all I was doing was what I did for myself and the things I was able to put together. It is very rewarding to do these things. You have the autonomy to decide when to go to work and when not to go to work. You can decide to call yourself any name at all. You can be the CEO, the MD, anything, board chairman. You don't need anybody to make you a board chairman. You can make yourself a board chairman. You can make yourself a CEO. There is so much flexibility in the way you can do your things. And so it comes with a lot of personal growth as well. I remember when I was going to do my master's, I never struggled to go do my master's because I was already working and I had resources to pay my fees. Unlike you see a lot of youth now, they want to do their master's, they want to do their PhD, and they are looking for somebody to pay their fees for them. And I tell them, my concentration may be to help those who want to do their basic degrees, but not somebody. Usually, master's is meant for people who are working, have work experience, and want to go and have more of academic experience. But these days, you see everybody, I want to do my master's, I want to do my PhD, plus they have not even tasted any kind of work before. And so I just want to say that it is good my brother has raised this issue. Sometimes when you want to train some of the children to, the human rights activists sometimes come to say that we are engaging children in child labor and other issues. Sometimes it's a way of training. You see people in my constituency, Sogako, running and selling bread. Some sell abolo, some sell all kinds of things. It's all a way of giving entrepreneurial and business skills to these people to be able to, even while they are in the job market proper working, they can do other side jobs for themselves. I am proud to say that there are people at the barrier at Sogakopo who are selling bread, who have degrees and some of them even have masters. But because there's readily no job to do, some of them engage in the things they do. And it fetches them so much money. It is not demeaning at all. So I will encourage those people who cannot find job immediately to ensure that they do something for themselves.
Thank you.
And then better their own bread. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Minority leadership, are you yielding to somebody or you want to speak?
Speaker, I'll yield to the honorable member.
Honorable member for... Honorable Jensen, what's your constituency?
Kakum MP, Himai Lower Denchira.
Himai Lower Denchira. Very well.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I thank the maker of the statement on entrepreneurship. I think it is said that population increase is about 3%. And as he rightly alluded to, our economy is able to take 10% of every intake or graduate. And therefore, as we've seen as the elite in politics of this country, we seem to have unemployment, which is becoming a national security issue. It is therefore, in my opinion, a right call being made by the honorable member for a reform into our educational system, and not only a reform into our educational system, but a reform that needs to be intentional, backed with strategy, and make sure that when the curriculum is changed, we will be able to build some roadblocks to encourage entrepreneurship in our ecosystem. For instance, in America, in Boston, after university, opportunities are created for students to go through incubation, to go through acceleration, and they make sure that the state put up buildings that are given to entrepreneurs who do not have money to go and work and pay a fee because they might not be able to rent an office and the like. It also has to be based on a strategy. Entrepreneurship for what? We are an import-dependent economy. And therefore, if we want to go into entrepreneurship, we must have some selection of key sectors that these entrepreneurs would have to go to. One is value addition in the agribusiness space. Now we're going on IT. So automation, coding should be an area that we need to encourage our youth. The third is technical, that we need to develop so that at least our food processing industry will be able to see some innovations in that area. And on that note, I think, Right Honorable Speaker, you would have to make some consequential orders so that the Minister of Education should, as much as early as possible, give us some timelines that these entrepreneurship, because of its national importance and national security implication. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I personally acknowledge the importance of this particular statement. However, I am not inclined to make any referral. And I'm saying this because we've made so many referrals to the committees. And the committees don't report back. Honorable Minority Chief Whip will bear me out. So many referrals have been made to the committees. And they are not reporting back to the House. So I think we cannot go on just making referral. Meanwhile, we don't get anything by way of reporting back to us. As much as I appreciate this important statement, but I believe the House must set up the chair of the committees, the ranking members of the committees. Please, so many referrals has been made to you. And as if it's normal, we refer to you and that's the end. As to whether you sit on it, nobody knows. So I think leadership will have to sit up on this particular issue. It's becoming one too many. That's why I'm not inclined to even add up any referral on this. Yes.
Speaker, one cannot help but be corroborative of your position. And Speaker, you are saying this out of frustration. The Speaker himself is frustrated. Speaker, what we can do in the absence of a response from the committee, and Speaker, you bear me out, the last time I spoke to the fire outbreaks and had reminded the leader of the House, and Speaker, and I made that point strongly that we have a leader of the House. And the time allocated had elapsed, had eclipsed. And the committee will not get back to this House plenary for us to adopt the report or otherwise. So Speaker, in joining you in putting ashes on yourself, I have a wish to humbly suggest that if it is a case that we cannot refer to referrals to the committees and the present circumstance, then we can refer it to the minister. As Speaker, the Minister for Education is somebody I can stick my neck out. That is one serious minister who will respond to this referral. So we can rather channel it to the Minister of Education to take this laudable, important statement in good stride and come report to this House some actions or measures that could be taken in this regard. I humbly submit, Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, majority leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we are referring cases to committees,
Speaker, I heard you refer to them as minority, and that's prophetic.
That was a slip of tongue. Honorable Majority, Deputy Majority Whip.
Nothing is prophetic in this House because Ghanaians are taking decision, and that decision will stay for the next 40 years. For the next 40 years. Mr. Speaker, if we are referring cases to committees and we are not getting results, which means there is something that is not working, who has been channeling the information to the committee clerks so that they keep prompting the chairman, this thing has been referred to us and we need to sit on it so that I can write a report to you to come and report back to the House. Mr. Speaker, if we don't do things right, we won't get right results. So when we refer items, a clerk at table should put it into writing to the committee clerk. Then the committee clerk will put it on their platform so that they take decision to sit on it. Or if they are to go rounds, they go rounds and gather information. Then they can come and report here. So we should change the way we do things so that we can get the right results. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Honorable Comfordoyo, I'm just being informed by the table that that's the way they do things. They always write to the committee chair and inform the clerk to the committee. I think the leader of the House is here. Leader, I have an issue that we need to actually look at. I think we have an issue that we have to look at. We don't have to hide behind it. It is something that is happening for me. It's not good. So many referrals has been made to the committees. And the committees, as to whether they sit on it, is another thing. They don't report back. And it's making some of us reluctant to make any referral again. Because this statement that was read by Honorable Stephen Amo is a very, very important statement. I think our educational sector should look at trying to inculcate the children into entrepreneurial skills. I think it's very, very important, but I'm not inclined to do that because so many referrals has been made to the committees. So once you are here, we will crave your indulgence to look into this aspect. But once again, that chairman, ranking members, they should take referral that we make to them very seriously. Other than that, it will be as if we are just playing and just doing the referrals.
Right Honourable Speaker, I do agree with you. And so we will engage the chairman and chairpersons of the various committees. I think that sometimes when you make a referral without having taken time to develop elaborate terms of reference for the committee, it becomes difficult for the committee to know exactly what they are supposed to do. Because he comes and makes a statement regarding his views about what our skills training sector should look like to be more effective in building the cadre of skilled personnel that we need to drive our national development. Now, when you say, okay, we've referred your statement to a committee, what is the committee supposed to do with that statement? That is where we have a deficit. And maybe some committees take it and they don't really know, well, the statement will refer to us. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to conduct a hearing on the matter, invite all the relevant institutions and stakeholders, confirm the thesis of the statement, confirm whether what they are saying accurately reflects the situation on the ground, test the ideas espoused in the statements, and then come out with comprehensive proposals for the sector ministers to work on, or for some legislation to be passed, or some resolutions, consequential ones, to be passed by this House. So we need to begin to be a bit more explicit when we make the referrals. I have some discussions ongoing about how to get the committees to start having public hearings. Public hearings. All the committees. I think that so far, the Public Accounts Committee started having public hearings several years ago, and it's become the most popular committee because they are engaged in public hearings. Then the Government Assurance Committee also followed up, and because they were publicized, they also became, quite popular during the chairmanship of the very innovative Okujeto. But, Mr. Speaker, there are other committees dealing with matters that are more fundamental in our lives. Water, healthcare, education, housing. And the committees should be having public hearings on what is happening in those sectors. Because those sectors have state institutions or agencies that are responsible for delivering on those commodities. They are supposed to write annual reports reviewing their performance. And all those reports are laid in this House. And the reports laid in this House should be the subject of some public hearing by all the committees to see what is happening in healthcare delivery. But National Health Insurance Authority will lay a report. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service will lay a report. The Food and Drugs Authority will lay a report. All the reports are being laid in this House. But the Health Committee will not take all those reports and have a public hearing, invite them, read the reports, question why performance is 20% instead of 90%, question why access is 60% instead of 80%, and put them on the spot so that they know that no institution is going to escape public accountability. If we function that way, I believe that every agency will begin to set up the way that I see, agencies relating to the Auditor General's office sitting up and trying to do their work. I think that accountability shouldn't only be about money, whether money was stolen or not stolen. But accountability should also be about if you took money to do work and the work hasn't been done or hasn't been done satisfactorily. Even though you've done some work, you haven't met the target set on the basis of which we gave you the amount of money that we gave you. These are all matters of accountability. And this Parliament must ensure that every institution is accountable. It will take away this idea of juicy committees and non-juicy committees. Because juicy committees are committees that, get work done. And once you start all working effectively in your various areas, you will become very famous committees and begin to attract the interest of members to want to be part of those committees. So, Mr. Speaker, I thought that this call provides an opportunity to add something even more fundamental and missing in the work that we do as a parliament. And so I'll confer with my counterparts, the whips, and will engage the chairman of the various committees and see going forward how we can begin to have our committees perform better. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, honorable members, you take the second statement, and I'll go to Laura. Laura, Honorable Bedzidin, on the unfortunate drowning of students Honorable Bate, I'm giving you the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make this very important and solemn statement on the floor of this House.
Okay, Honorable Bate, hold on. Since I said I'm not inclined to refer the statement, I will, however, ask that the table link up with the minister directly and let the minister get to know the importance of this statement and see how best he can. So, table link up with the minister. Yes, Honorable Bate. Let's see. Hold on, Honorable Bate. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think that henceforth, when statements are made and we feel strongly about those statements, the maker of the statement should be encouraged to bring a motion calling for a parliamentary inquiry into the subject and itemizing some terms of reference so that once we pass that resolution as a House, then it paves the way for a committee hearing so that some budgetary allocation can be made for the committee.
Leader, that's very good. So, leader, we will look up to you, at least with the whips. Let's try to draft out something to bring members on board in respect of asking them to come up by way of motion so that we can debate and yes, Honorable.
Speaker, I rise to speak in support, and I identified with the regrets shown by the leader. And if you go through the Constitution, it appears we've been sleeping on many of our functions. Article 187, in respect of Auditor General's report, for instance, for a long time, we talk about it and we don't take any action. So the leader has captured it right. We may have to transition to the point where the statement will be followed up with a motion. And then once the motion is adopted, it becomes a significant exit point for a function to be performed. I think if we do that, and then we can have a dedicated budget for these activities, that for me is the way to go. And the leader has shown a lot of promise in many of his interventions, ably supported by my often good friend. So he should keep the leader reminded so that this thing doesn't become one of the good things we say and then we'll go and sleep. If you're able to do that, it can make a lot of difference.
Thank you very much. Leader, I'm so grateful with this particular position. Yes, Honorable Bate, you may take the floor now.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to make this very important and solemn statement on the floor of this House. It is with a heart weighed down by sorrow and a deep sense of loss that I rise to draw the attention of this honorable House and indeed the entire nation to a tragic and avoidable incident that occurred in the Laura constituency in the Upper West region of Ghana. On Saturday, 14 June 2025, I received the devastating news that 7 students of Laura Senior High School had tragically drowned while attempting to cross the Black Volta River at Dikpe in the Laura constituency using a canoe. I received the news through one of the Laura constituency executives of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Simon Derry. Mr. Speaker, the news shocked me, and I wondered what was the cause of such a calamity. In the course of the day, I was further informed that 3 of the 10 students involved had been rescued, but the remaining 7 were trapped by the river. Later, the bodies of 5 were recovered, leaving 2 of them still in the bowels of the river, which were found the following day, 15th June. Mr. Speaker, this sad event drew the regional director of GES and his staff, the regional NADMO directorate, and the National Security Office to Laura. Subsequently, The regional minister also visited Laura to see things for himself. The event broke the hearts of the people of the Laura constituency. In fact, the day could rightly be described as a Black Saturday. The loss of these promising young lives has sent shock waves throughout the Laura constituency and the country at large. Mr. Speaker, these were not just students. They were the hope of their families, the pride of their school, and the future of our nation. Their sudden and untimely death has left their families shattered, their peers traumatized, and our community in mourning. I wish to, on behalf of the entire Laura constituency, extend my deepest and most heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families. I also wish to express my sincere sympathy to the headmaster and staff of Laura Senior High School, as well as the entire student body of the school, who are struggling to come to terms with this terrible loss. Mr. Speaker, I believe this unfortunate and sad event should be a wake-up call to all of us to be a bit more careful of the way we live our lives, because life is unpredictable. I would admonish all students to conduct themselves with much more care when they leave the parental homes and come to be put in the care of school authorities. What we have been told about this event is that these students were part of the school cadet group that decided to do their jogging at the riverside near the Blackwater at Dikpe on the Saturday morning. They were 16 in number, comprising 11 girls and 5 boys. At the riverside, 10 of them, 8 girls and 2 boys, decided to join a canoe which was being handled by a young man to take a ride across the river to the Burkina Faso side of the Blackwater River, which forms the border between the two countries, that is Ghana and Burkina Faso. In the course of the trip, water began to enter the boat. The students tried to evacuate the water, but more water entered into the canoe and it started sinking. They got frightened and decided to jump out of the canoe and swim out of the water. Unfortunately, not having been trained in swimming, they could not swim to safety. Their commander, who was outside the river, saw the predicament of his cadets and, being a trained swimmer, jumped into the river in an attempt to save the lives of his compatriots. Indeed, he was able to bring out only 3, while the remaining 7 perished in the river. Mr. Speaker, my information is that out of those who died, 2 of them are from the Laura constituency, 2 from the Dafiama Busie Isa constituency, 1 from Nandom, 1 from Wa, and the last one from Nadoli-Kaleu. The 3 who were rescued are responding to treatment and are currently living with the headmaster in his bungalow. Obviously, the decision of all the 10 students to join the canoe was one of poor judgment. I believe that if only about half of that number, or even less, had joined the canoe, we could have probably avoided this catastrophe. Let us always be guided by the saying that prevention is better than cure, by avoiding obvious dangers in our life. This disaster will certainly put avoidable stress on the school authorities, as well as a huge financial burden on the bereaved families. Mr. Speaker, I believe that what happened could have been avoided if there were life jackets available to the students. Unfortunately, there was none. I therefore wish to appeal to NADMO to take steps to provide life jackets for the Dikpe community and all other communities along the Blackwater that use boats to commute, because that appears to be the only means of transport. This should not be allowed to happen again. Let us take preventive steps, including public education on safety and security. I further appeal to NADMO, the Regional Coordinating Council, and the Laura Municipal Assembly to come to the aid of the Laura Senior High School and the bereaved families by providing support to them in these trying moments. As a stopgap measure, I have decided to procure 10 life jackets as soon as possible to avert any future occurrence. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to rise above partisanship and political point scoring. The safety and development of our people must take precedence. The death of these 7 students should serve as a national wake-up call, an alarm bell sounding from the banks of the Black Volta at Dikwe, urging us to act. The former president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, in November 2020, came to Laura to cut the sword for the construction of the Dikwe Bridge, a very laudable idea, but sadly, the project has not seen the light of day, whilst the site has turned into the habitats of rodents and the reptiles. Mr. Speaker, on my part, I wish to use this platform to make an urgent appeal to the Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways to take up the construction of the Dikwe Bridge project seriously and as a matter of national priority. We cannot afford to lose more lives. We cannot allow the dreams of our young people to be buried beneath the waters of negligence. Let this House remember these 7 students. 7 students, not just with words, but with action. I have already sent a delegation to go and commiserate with the headmaster and staff of the school, as well as the entire student body. The delegation will also visit the bereaved families wherever possible to express our deep condolences to them. Again, Mr. Speaker, I extend my deepest condolences to the school and the entire bereaved families. May the gentle souls of the departed students rest in perfect peace, and may we, as leaders, rise to meet our responsibilities with courage and compassion. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me first and foremost go to Sola. Honorable Andrew Chitawe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to join the Honorable Member for Laura, Honorable President Ambata Azuma, to send my condolences to the bereaved families of the students who unfortunately lost their lives trying to cross to the neighboring country. Mr. Speaker, following the statement, it is very clear that the students went to the riverside without the guidance of a tutor. Mr. Speaker, I see this as a very unfortunate situation. Considering the number of students that went to the riverside, Mr. Speaker, it would have been good if they had a master or a tutor along. I am very sure that if they had gone to the riverside with a teacher, this unfortunate incident wouldn't have occurred. Mr. Speaker, Laura Secondary School is also not very close to the riverside, but just wondering why the student had to take that risk to go that far. Mr. Speaker, it is also very clear that where the students went to happened to be a route that Ghanaians used to cross to Burkina, and the Burkinabés also cross to our side. And it's very clear that that route is not manned by security officers. This sends a signal that as a country, all routes leading to other countries that we border, we must endeavor to put security men around the areas. If there were security officers guiding that route, I'm very certain that the students wouldn't, they wouldn't have sat in the boat to cross by taking that risk. And Mr. Speaker, also very clear that the person that was managing the canoe was not very experienced. I'm sure if there was an experienced person that manned the canoe, probably this wouldn't have also happened. Myself, Mr. Speaker, some few years back, because I have relatives across, we lost an uncle. Myself and one of my late brothers, we had to be crossed by a young lady. Mr. Speaker, at a point, we were compelled to stand up to hold the motorbike because the canoe was balancing. In fact, it was only God that saved us. At a point, I closed my eyes and I was praying in my mind and was waiting for the sound. Yes, to indicate that the canoe had gotten to the other end of the river. Mr. Speaker, people really risk when it comes to some of these things. But let me conclude by pleading with school authorities to be very cautious, to be very mindful of the students that we lead, the students that we are supposed to take care of. Sometimes we tend to forget that students at that age, the ages between 15, 16, 17, and 20, they are people who want to experiment. And so school authorities must be very vigilant. And also, parents would have to begin to talk to their wards when they are going to school. Let them know that they should not raise their lives to the extent of what the Laura Secondary School students did. Very unfortunate. It has happened already. Let's join hands to send our condolences to the school, the bereaved families, and especially the Member of Parliament. I know he's gone through a lot of torture, and this is the time for us to support him as they mourn the bereaved. They mourn with the bereaved families. The Speaker, may those who lost their life have a peaceful rest with their Maker, and those who are also alive with the headmaster of the school, may they also recover speedily. May the school authorities also keep calm and get psychologists to counsel the students to get them back to normal life. Mr. Speaker, once again, I thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to make this comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Let me go to Afram Prince.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm calling you because you also apply a lot on the lake.
Yes, that's correct, sir. Mr. Speaker, I share my sadness and condolences with the family of the bereaved in this very tragic moment. Mr. Speaker, like the maker of the statement vividly narrated, these activities and tragedies has been an everyday thing along our river bodies in the country. I always have a question I ask myself: what is my responsibility of preventing a tragic event like this, rather than waiting and lamenting of a cure after it's already done? I think there is something that we as a country are not looking at critically. How are we equipping our young ones to cope with the environment and the atmosphere they live in? It is non-negotiable that people will live by river bodies. It's non-negotiable that people will cross rivers, will cross streams, the Black Volta, the White Volta, the Afram, the Volta Lake. How do we train the young ones to master the act of living in the environment they find themselves in? As a young boy, I tried to learn swimming at the age of 6 in the Volta Lake. But at that time, because of lack of such knowledges, our parents, our uncles would beat us to the core. As we all lamenting now that there are no parental guides. But I can tell you for a fact, anyone who knows how to swim will tell you that if you even put on a life jacket but cannot master the art of controlling yourself on the river, you will still die with the life jacket. Which means that it was better if we allow and train our children who live around river bodies to master the act of at least being still. But because we do not bring out such policies to equip them on their environment, we end up with these tragic events. It will happen and happen and happen if we don't equip them. Mr. Speaker, as we represent those people along the lakes here, I see a lot of my senior colleagues and even my first-time MPs along the lake, and we know this happens even with school children for which commuting across rivers has become their everyday life. In my constituency, Afram Place, crossing river to school is like walking from here to Job 600. And therefore, it is a normal thing. But how are we going to prevent them drowning every time so that it doesn't become a lamentation speech we read here in Parliament? I wish, Mr. Speaker, we direct the offices of NADMO, the Navy, and whoever matters in these matters to start a kind of exercise training our students and young ones along our river bodies, at least to master the act of floating. That is the only way, if we even provide them with life jackets, they can successfully come out of this kind of situation. Mr. Speaker, it's so sad that even between January till now, in Afram Place North, I can tell you this event has happened more than 5 or 6 times, and we couldn't pick any of them alive. But it has become the daily life of the people, so it is just like someone died and someone is buried. But how long are we going to wait until our young ones that will take over from us drown in river bodies before we take an action of equipping them? I will just end it here and say, we have the power as a house to stand and make a decision that will help us to curb further occurrences in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me give Honorable Afram Prince, may you put off your mic, please? Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this very important statement made by my senior colleague, the Honorable Member of Parliament, for Laura. Mr. Speaker, before I say anything, I want to join this House in expressing my condolences to the families of the students and to my colleague MP and all the stakeholders involved in this matter. Mr. Speaker, crossing the river from Dikpe to our first neighbor, Burkina Faso, should ordinarily not make the news. It shouldn't make the news because it's such a basic requirement of government to see to our security and to protect us in any part of this country that we find ourselves. Mr. Speaker, when school students get on a boat to cross to the other side to Burkina, the excitement is probably not because they want to sit in a boat. It's because they want to go to Burkina Faso, which they could have done if there was a bridge on the river. I don't think that if that river was bridged, the students will ignore walking across the river on the bridge and get onto a boat. The maker of the statement has alluded to a sword-cutting ceremony which was meant to construct a bridge across this river, and yet it was never done. Mr. Speaker, I think that is where we need to place our attention. What are we doing to forestall the reoccurrence of some of these catastrophes. For those of us MPs along the Volta Lake, either the white Volta or the black Volta, we see these occurrences every day. In my constituency of Salaga South, I'm bordered by 46 such communities. And in most of the communities, there are no schools. Most of the communities don't have a healthcare center. So when a woman is in labor at midnight, in Sope, they will put the woman on a boat and cross over to Yeji. That is where the nearest hospital is. And I've asked myself, don't these people deserve, when we were in secondary school, every secondary school had a sick bay. For the want of a better word, just something, a facility equivalent to that of a sick bay, where sick people in these communities can be attended to and given first aid before they are moved to the next health center. Mr. Speaker, that is not the case. When I moved from Salaga to go to Akamade, where I've been struggling in the last 6 months to put up a school, because even government of Ghana won't go there to put up a school, no roads, no way to carry building materials, you have to cut everything, including sand, on a boat across the river. And I've been doing that for the past 6 months because they don't have a school. So every day, they are on a boat, they cross to Agege in my brother Honorable Jinapo's constituency to attend school and back. And this has been going on until I found an NGO that was ready to help me to construct a school in this community. Mr. Speaker, when I sit on the boat from Kafaba, 3 hours I'm on the lake, going to Akamade, and as if the sun and everything that is inconveniencing you is not enough, you don't sight a single speedboat situated on the lake to take care of people who are using the lake in any eventualities. Zero, Mr. Speaker. There is no such thing on the I traverse the Volta Lake from Kafaba to Akamade. I do Kafaba to Kijewu. I do Makango to Yeji. There is no boat ready to offer help in case anything happened to us on the lake. Mr. Speaker, these are the bigger issues that government has to address its mind to. And that is why, for me, in February, when we read the report that the Defense Ministry had partnered the road minister to construct a bridge across a stream in Asokwa, I think, in the lower Achim constituency in the eastern region. It's Asokwa. We were very excited. And Mr. Speaker, that very day I read the report, I sat behind my desktop and I wrote a very beautiful letter to the road minister and the defense minister, asking for similar collaboration to address about the same problem in Sarkingona Kura in my constituency, where the children, you don't know how to describe that water body, whether it is a pond, whether it is a creek or a canal, because it depends on the time of year when you go there. Its characteristics changes. But what is constant is that the school children are on the lake, on the canoe, on rafts, ferrying adults like me across, because I have to go and campaign in Sarkingona Kura. And when I have to go there from Kibatito, I have to sit on the boat. And these little boys have to paddle me across to the other side. No schooling, no healthcare. This is Ghana. Mr. Speaker, legislators, the executive, I think we need to understand that Ghana is not Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, Takrade. Ghana includes Kijewu Bato, Adevukope, Atayi Kura, new no man's land. Sarkingona Kura, Mataheko, Accra Pe, Chakara. They are all part of this country. And so when we are allocating the natural resources of this country that all of us are entitled to, we must remember these people.
Thank you. Very touching comment.
Fortunately, the road minister has responded to my letter, and by the grace of Allah, he's promised to put a steel bridge on that creek so that at least we can all move in comfort. Before I take my seat, Mr. Speaker, let me say once again my condolences to the bereaved family, and my prayer is with the Honorable Member of Parliament of the area, because I know he didn't include that in the statement, but I know the pressure that he will be undergoing at this time to come and address everybody's problems. We are with you, Mr. MP. We're praying that government will listen to our cry and help make life a little bit better for all of us. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much. Very touching comment. Yes, let me come to my brother. I'll give you 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Like which ones? I don't know those ones. They are not in my.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support Honorable Bede with what he is going through. I share a boundary with Laura, that is Nandom, and also the same black Volta runs through our 2 constituencies. Secondly, Laura is 18 miles from Nandom, and by that, most of the students come from places including people from my constituency. This tragedy affects mostly schools and constituencies in the Upper West region. And one of the victims was from my constituency. So I'm grateful to Honorable Bede for bringing this issue to this House. I want to say, I am with you, my brother Bede, in this serious situation. I can imagine as a parent that I'm home, then all of a sudden I hear that my child drowned in the Black Volta. It will be very devastating. What I want to say is, in the narrative, he made mention that the cause was that the canoe had a hole and water was seeping into it. This is a very serious issue. Along the Black Volta, there are many points where people cross from Ghana to Burkina and vice versa. I am not sure anybody has had the time to ever inspect the canoes that they use. If it were so, maybe this situation would not have arisen. Panic was one of the issues. And I want to suggest that NADMO should add inspection of these canoes to its normal duties. We don't wait until there's a disaster and we come and make beautiful speeches here of sympathy and whatnot. But the life, you cannot bring it back. Also, we hear the students were members of the school cadet corps and that they do not know how to swim. Any serious cadet corps should include swimming lessons in its activities. So, I will encourage all schools that have cadet corps, and particularly those around places where we have rivers and lakes and whatnot, to include swimming lessons in their activities. Then, I did not hear about a supervisor who took them to the riverside. What I heard was that somebody from outside was able to come into the water and succeeded in rescuing 3 of the students. I think all schools should take it into consideration that when they are going out, there must be a supervisor who will take the decision and not the students themselves taking a decision to cross the river into Burkina Faso. That river is quite large, and I think when the water kept seeping through, they panicked. But if they were a supervisor, he could have just called upon them to keep calm and that he will manage the situation. I want to say that to the whole of Upper West, because the students came from different constituencies, we are all mourning these students. And I want to tell Bid, we will all support what you are doing, because I also have very many crossing points from my constituency into Burkina Faso. So my condolences to the parents and to the school and to you, Bid, and to myself, because I also lost somebody in that tragedy. And with those few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Leadership.
Speaker, on hearing this sad news, I was reminded, and I was just trying to relate to my colleague across the aisle, my chief whip, while we were at University of Cape Coast. We recorded a sad story. I think we were in second year or so, where a number of students, 3 students that ago got drowned at the beach. So I can identify with the pain and the misery. I know my senior, the Honorable Begzidin, is somebody who is very careful on what to speak to. So our hearts go out there to you, the family, and having made time to find time to speak to this matter in showing solidarity and condolence to the family and the bereaved. Speaker, not to belabor the point, we've read these stories in the media oftentimes, and we lament about it, and then we go home to sleep. Interestingly, the Black Volta, I don't know if it's closer to the Black Volta is closer to, I'm not getting my geography well, if the Black Volta is closer to the White Volta. But the Black Volta, the White Volta, the Volta River, and a number of water bodies that intersperse geographical boundaries of our country. And the begging question is, especially this time of the year, where the rains is here. As a serious country, we should have been taking measures against these disasters. So I'm happy to say that the road minister, who is very dutiful, has responded. It's good, but we all have to follow through to get to the conclusion of it. But it's not just the road minister. I think the transport minister is also relevant. Transport on water bodies, these canoes and transport generally on the water bodies come under the purview of the transport minister. And so, Speaker, with a lot of sadness, I can imagine if this thing happens to my son, my daughter, it will be a very sad story to record. So, and Speaker, you are lethargic in giving consequential directives. Nowadays, I don't want to invite the Speaker. The Speaker has put on ashes. Very sad. But specific to this matter, and I will pray you that, Speaker, we should give some timelines. Timelines, get the road minister, the transport minister, they should put their heads together. Either they are meeting up with the Honorable Begzidin, but it's not just about him. I know other parts of the country, these things have the danger is rearing its ugly head. Afram Plains, my own good friend, I was once in his constituency, Honorable Roxon. He has a big river the Volta River goes through your constituency, right? The Volta River.
You went to his constituency?
He comes and he doesn't bring you fish.
To do what?
I don't know why he's been doing that.
What did you go there to do?
A number of my families are there, he knows.
Oh, I thought...
My extended family,
I thought at the level of the hips, you have some...
The last time he brought me some beautiful fish. So, it cuts across the entire country. So let's look at the matter in its absolute sense, so that we don't limit ourselves. See, I'm not taking anything away from the importance of the event, but I'm saying that we should look at it in broader perspective. Because if you recall, before we rose, there was a facility in this house that we approved, Czech Republic or so, and they were supposed to build bridges across the country. I don't know any of us remembers this. So government is a continuous process. We will pray that the road minister and the transport.
Thank you very much. Majority leadership.
Speaker, I will conclude and invite a superior view from my good friend.
Thank you.
Since he lives by the river.
Yes, another majority people.
Speaker, let me say our deepest condolences to the family members whose pain has been ventilated on this floor by their able representative, the Honorable Bidzidi. Speaker, lots of people don't know that there's a whole life and economy on the Volta Lake and its major tributaries. Speaker, in this parliament, we have as many as 52 constituencies that abut the Volta Lake. 52. Yeah, it's 52. 52 constituencies that abut the Volta Lake. And so I can mention constituencies like South Dine, myself. We have North Dine. We have North Town, South Town, Central Town. We have a Soja Mine. We have Pando. We have Biakuya. We have Nkwanta North. Nkwanta North, Kratchi East, Kratchi West, Kratchi in Chumru, or in Oti. Speaker, we have Sini. In the Benoi region, we have Sini West, Sini East, Pru West, Kintampo North, Bole, Central Gonja, Esoja Mine, Afram Plains North and South. We have Salaga, we have Banda, we have Nandong, we have Daboya, Mankarigu, we have Yeji. And the Yeji, Yape Gusogu, Abu Jinapo, you should pay attention to these matters. Mr. Speaker, yes, Damonko, Mr. Speaker, Damonko, they are very close to the water. And there are a lot of the constituents whose life depends on the activities that happen on the Volta Lake. Mr. Speaker, the matters that has been raised are very, very important. Because, Speaker, if you travel to other countries where there are water bodies, and let me cite, for instance, our own sister country, Tanzania, where you have Zanzibar, which is the island. And the people of Zanzibar, they travel to the mainland in Zanzibar, Dar es Salaam. They use what they call water buses. Very beautiful. They are water buses, they have the big ones, they have the small ones. In fact, they are water taxis. And Mr. Speaker, these things don't cost much. It's just about the initiative and implementing them. This is not the first time that disasters on any of the tributaries to the Volta Lake has taken lives. In fact, in South Dine in 2022, about 60-something people who came to one of the biggest periodic markets we have in this country, the Germany market, and they were traveling to my brother Wallace's constituency in Afram Plains North. Speaker, on the Volta Lake, when you are in the boat and you are traveling, if you travel for about 20 minutes from the shore, the life on the lake is like the mighty sea. You don't see anything. When you are in the boat, it's as if on the lake, it's as if you are on the high seas. And the kind of storm that can out of the blue erupt on the water is akin to what we can see in the high seas. And so when the boats are rickety, they are not properly equipped. Mr. Speaker, if we can. If the boats are not properly equipped to withstand such tumultuous weather and storms on the water, they sink. Because the boats become storm-tossed and they are not hardy, they are not properly built to withstand such terrific storms. They are crushed and they take lives. We lost about 40-something people. It became a national disaster matter. NADMO came in as usual. They did the reports as they are supposed to do. But that was just about it. And so, Speaker, I don't want us to belabor this matter, but I want to ask some pertinent questions. The Volta Lake is about 60 years old. The inundation began from about 61. The dam got filled up in about 65. So it's about 60 years old. VRA was created as a result of that. VRA gave birth to a subsidiary called Volta Lake Transport Company. Volta Lake Transport Company is a company established to take care of transportation matters on the Volta Lake. What has been their responsibility, Mr. Speaker? So that the millions of Ghanaians whose everyday life depend on what they do on the lake, commercial activities as well as fishing, and also for social cohesion sake, they move from between one village and another. You need to travel on the lake. You need a means of transportation. We have legislation in place that demands that before you sit on a boat, whether motorized or canoe paddled, you need to wear a life jacket. We do not implement that law. So persons take the risk, sit in the boats because that is what is available. Very often, like we've just recounted, at the peril of their lives. Can we get NADMO spending some resources providing life jackets? Mr. Speaker, life jacket one is nearly 1,000 Ghana cedis. It's so expensive. So the average man who lives by the lake, who depends on it, is unable to purchase it. The boat owners, it's so expensive, they are unable to purchase it. Can we direct that some resources be allocated to purchasing life jackets to be distributed to boat owners by way of social intervention for boat owners and the persons who depend on it? Speaker, sometimes people perish just trying to go and write BEC or SSE. They perish. We've had members come here with statements that students were going to write exams and they were in the middle of the water. They were caught by some storm. Their boat got storm tossed and they perished. It's happened. So when we speak of social intervention, this, like he said, these are some of the critical matters. And I share the pain of Honorable Zuwera, because those of us who live by the lake, and even during campaign times, we journey on the lake to go and reach out to these people and seek votes. And we MPs, we also risk our lives. So, Speaker, with this statement, I believe that we can, as a House, make some, because the essence of what we do is to lead to legislation. Often. Can we, before we do that, can we say that NADMO, we should devote some resources to purchasing life jackets? It's so dear for me. Purchasing life jackets. Like the way MPs will give mathematical sets to BEC students, we should be able to have such resources and purchase life jackets and donate to these communities and the reverend bodies. First of all, by way of intervention. Some people just traveling to go to a farm, they perish. Go to mini fishing, they perish. Traveling to another funeral, then they perish whilst on their way to attend funerals. So, in the primariness of all that we are discussing, Mr. Speaker, the issue is that this has happened. What can Parliament, as an organ of state, do? We shall express the matters, but we need to make intervention that will go to, we may not be able to eliminate it, but we should be able to reduce the incidence of the number of fatalities that we experience when it happens.
Thank you.
So, Speaker, with these few words, I thank you for the opportunity. And once again, our deepest condolences to the people.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I believe NADMO is under the Ministry
of the
for
Interior. Of the Interior, Mr. Speaker.
Please, let's invite the Minister for Interior to come and tell us how he can put some emergencies in place in all these areas we've just mentioned, those who are living along the...
Speaker, and energy, because VRA is under energy, and VRA is a subsidiary of VRA, which is a Water Lake Transport Company.
Oh no, that is another angle. I just want to look at the functions of NADMO, that preventive aspect of it, so that if the minister can link up with them and provide the life jacket as we are proposing for all these communities living along the water lakes and other tributaries. So that's the angle I'm looking at. So let's invite the minister to come and tell us something.
Speaker, I agree with you, but Speaker, at the end of the day, we are looking at resource allocation. I think if I may hazard some guess, I know that the Energy Ministry has more muscle than transport, so to speak. So if both of them can come together, and by way of some intervention, I have about 21 communities along the lakefront, me alone, South Dine. Sojamai has about 13. North Dine has about 18. Just on that stretch alone. There are thousands of people in this community. So
let's look at interior and energy. Let's see how best we can put them together.
Great, Mr. Interior. Great, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members,
I concede we have a lot of backlog, but the referral has to be specific because the issues are quite sprawling. But he's inviting the minister to do what? To respond. To respond to what? Yes, the interventions, there are so many places, his place, your place, Eastern region. So Speaker, we could skew it a bit, maybe as a point, as a starting point, and then we can escalate with time. Because they can't, let's be practical, they can't deal with all the areas same time. So maybe let's limit ourselves to some areas, and then Speaker, with time, they can escalate. This is what is appearing to my mind.
Honorable members, so now our standing orders, we can even invite some of the agent heads. Can you invite the head of the NADMO to come and meet us or discuss with us?
Speaker, indeed, but he may have to be accompanied by his sector minister.
The sector minister.
Yes, and also maybe the head of VRA, because of the issues. Speaker, you see, we are looking at, is it possible for us to purchase, for instance, 10,000 life jackets to be donated to these communities via the districts?
That's exactly what I'm looking at. Exactly. So that if we can look at the budget of Interior Ministry, so that certain portion of their budget
to take
could
care
be
of
allocated
exigencies.
to take care of these emergency issues. I think it's very, very critical.
Yes.
Honourable members,
may we look at
on that
Speaker,
note,
may we look at next week, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Very well.
A week. Yes. So, Speaker, we proposing that next week Wednesday.
So
we'll
let
give
me
them
link up
ample
with
time.
you. You are the government whip. Let's
Great.
link up with you so that
Great.
you.
Speaker, I'm guided.
Very well.
Extremely grateful.
Very well. On that note, honourable members, let me invite you to respectfully rise and give 1 minute silence to the soul of the departed students. May the souls of the departed students rest in perfect peace. Amen. The next statement, we are going to we have a joint statement.
I'm sorry, they are not joint statements. They are two separate statements. One stands in the name of the Honorable Jinapo and the Honorable Dapa, Honorable Dapa. In fact, Honorable Dapa and Honorable Jinapo have already been admitted.
So that's what I'm saying.
They are not
The
joint.
Dapa one is a joint statement on Dapa and the minority leader. So where as you well. So we are taking this. Then honorable member for Honorable Richard Curie. Are you also here? Yes. So after this, I'll come to you. I take one here, I take one here. So let me invite honorable member for Damango to also make a statement.
Mr. Speaker,
the statement is about Honorable, there's no I can't relate it to any specific heading.
Mr. Speaker, the
statement
by
by
on Ghana's
honorable
foreign
member
policy.
for
On Ghana's
Damango
foreign
constituency and ranking member on the committee on foreign affairs, Honorable Abu Jinapo, on Ghana foreign policy. Very well. So let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you most sincerely for the opportunity to make this important statement at this crucial time of international geopolitics and trade wars. Mr. Speaker, the past few years have witnessed significant changes in global politics. The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic brought to the fore the necessity of balancing national interests with foreign policies and international obligations. Nations across the world had to make decisions with far-reaching implications on relations with other nations, including closure of borders, imposition of travel bans, mandatory testing and quarantine of persons traveling from certain jurisdictions.
Honorable, hold on. Yes, Majority Whip.
Thank you, Speaker. The statement is quite lengthy. No, hold on. It's quite lengthy. So let me urge my brother to get the answer to capture the entirety. Then he can touch on the salient points. So we have breached the time of delivery. So other members.
Well. Great, it's about 18 pages.
Yes.
And it's so, honorable Minister, I'll go with.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the statement I have in my hands is 5 pages. That's the abridged abridged version. That one is for Hansard. That's for Hansard.
Font size.
That's for Hansard.
Font size. Is a font size.
Mr. Speaker.
Hold on.
Let him,
hold on, I'm coming. Let me settle with.
Speaker,
Yes.
it means he's reading a different version, and you admitted the one with 18 pages.
I am it's the first deputy speaker who admitted it.
This is 18 pages.
When it comes to statements, the first deputy speaker who admits statements.
If it's been reduced to 5, abridged to 5, yes, we'll adopt this, and then he can read the 5-page one for touching on the salient points.
Yes.
Speaker, I think it's been work in progress for a while that myself and my colleague have been trying to have some conclusion in terms of even how we ferry statement, the content and all that. So it's something we've been discussing. But, Speaker, I've looked at the statement. Yes, it's researched, well researched. But I go with, Honorable Boatin, what is your problem? Listen to me first. So I agree with, you will not even listen to me. I agree with the Chief Whip that it has to be abridged. But the content, but whilst abridging it, don't lose out on the valuable content. Just don't lose out on that, but try and abridge it. It will be abridged, but the essentials will not be left out. That's very important. We'll try and abridge.
Honorable members,
it's the same thing I'm saying.
Honorable members, like I said, I am not responsible.
Speaker, the minority chief whip appears. Have you hidden some things? Because you are indicating that you shouldn't lose those ones.
Honorable members, once the statement has been admitted, I have no. But we've been advising ourselves that statement should not go beyond 3 pages. But that nonetheless, it has been admitted. So, Majority Chief Whip is asking that he abridge it. So, Honorable Abujinapo, try and abridge it and let the Hansard capture its entirety. So you have the floor now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Majority Chief Whip is a senior counsel. He knows we have to do a thorough job. Majority. He knows we are trained to do a thorough job. So, Mr. Speaker, the abridged version is what I'm presenting on the floor. Mr. Speaker, then came the Russian-Ukraine war and the resurgence of the long-standing dispute between Israel and Palestine, which further divided the international community. These developments, coupled with the new policy direction of the government of the United States of America towards other nations, including the mass deportation of migrants, the imposition of tariffs and travel bans, as well as the withdrawal from the important global agreements and organizations, including the momentous Paris Agreement, are causing several shifts in international politics and trade. And today, Mr. Speaker, before our very eyes, the unfolding hostilities between Israel and Iran pose a serious threat with global ramifications already reflected in surging oil prices, and the risk of further hostilities should the conflict escalates, as it seems it is. Mr. Speaker, it is in times like this that we as a country must rise to defend the core values of our foreign policy, to secure the well-being of our citizens, protect and safeguard the territorial integrity of our country, encourage foreign investment, and position our country as a global force in this changing world, in accordance with the dictates of our national constitution. It is in this spirit that I make this statement. Mr. Speaker, foreign policies, according to the English political scientist Philip Alan Reynolds, and I quote, are not made in vacuum, but are made in relation to other factors similarly acting in the global arena, end quote. They are influenced by several factors such as history, security, trade,
ideological inclinations, political interests, leadership, and national interests. The case of Ghana, Mr. Speaker, is not different. Our foreign policy did not just emerge at the dawn of independence, but is a result of several historical factors and has developed through a systematic process predating our independence. Indeed, Ghana's approach towards regional integration dates far back before our independence. As early as the 1900s, our forebears, including the renowned author and educator Joseph Ephraim Casely Hayford and the revered and astute lawyer Joseph Boache Dankwa, advocated for a united West Africa, which they envisaged will, quote, take her true part among the nations of the earth, end quote. Our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, building on this, called for a united Africa, re-echoed in the often quoted phrase in his independence speech that, and I quote, our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa, end quote. In addition to a united Africa, good neighborliness, positive neutralism or non-alignment, economic diplomacy and national interests have remained the fulcrum of our foreign policy. Scholars have argued that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's quest for an ideological clamor to our foreign policy affected his objective view of our actual national interests. As Peter Omari bluntly puts it in his 1970 book, The Anatomy of an African Dictator, and I quote, Nkrumah sacrificed Ghana on the altar of Pan-Africanism, end quote. Mr. Speaker, others have vehemently held the contrary view, and the jury is still out there on this matter. But it was to ensure the protection of our national interests at all times that the framers of the 1969 Constitution inserted Article 57, which enjoined Ghanaian governments while conducting international affairs in consonance with accepted principles of international law and diplomacy, to do so, quote, in a manner consistent with the national interests of Ghana, end quote. This provision was repeated in Article 11 of the 1979 Constitution and now Articles 40A and 73 of our current national Constitution. Today, Mr. Speaker, these two provisions of our national Constitution constitute the bedrock of our foreign policy, which includes the promotion and protection of national interests, the establishment of a just and equitable international economic order, respect for international law and treaty obligations, peaceful settlement of international disputes, and adherence to the objectives and principles of multinational organizations such as the United Nations, the African Union, the Economic Community of West African States, and the Commonwealth. Mr. Speaker, despite the convergence of minds on the core objectives of our foreign policy, governments under different leadership have pursued these policies differently, leading to some degree of inconsistency. This is because individual leaders are very powerful in shaping a nation's foreign policy. Their ideas, worldview, knowledge, attitudes, skills, likes and dislikes are key determinants of foreign policies. For instance, studies have shown that our approach towards regional integration has moved from rapid political unification in the early days of our independence to what is now known as functional economic integration, evident in our capital city playing host to the consequential Africa Continental Free Area after, through the instrumentality and outstanding leadership of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Our relationship with our neighbors is also said to have moved from a tense and antagonistic one to a more cordial and collaborative approach, while our non-aligned policy has moved from militant non-alignment to modest and minimalist commitment to alignment with different governments showing pro-West or pro-East tendencies. Nonetheless, Mr. Speaker, we cannot leave our foreign policy entirely to the whims and wishes of an individual. Recent events across the globe have revealed the imminent danger in such an approach. We must therefore stay true to the core values and objectives of our foreign policy as have been developed over the years and as enshrined in our national constitution. Today, Mr. Speaker, we are faced with the issue of military coups in the three countries to our northern border, namely Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and their recent breakaway from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to form a new bloc called the Alliance of Sahel States. Undoubtedly, events in these countries are likely to impact us, and it's imperative that we engage the leaders of these nations
and work with the international community to deal with this delicate matter, while promoting good neighborliness, even in these times, which is exhibited in the continuous free movement of goods and people between us and these countries, despite their exit from ECOWAS. We must not lose sight of our constitutional obligation to respect and adhere to the principles, aims, and ideals of the UN, AU, and ECOWAS, which includes the promotion of democratic principles, institutions, and culture, respect for human rights, as well as the rule of law and good governance. We must work with them to urgently transition to a democratic dispensation. Outside the continent, our voices must be heard on the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Palestine conflict, as well as the ongoing hostilities between Israel and Iran. We will remain non-aligned, but as our first president, Dr. Nkrumah, said, and I quote, "Non-alignment does not imply indifference to the great issues of our day. It does not imply isolationism," end quote. The Russia-Ukraine war has already entered its third year, and its effects on the global economy and developing economies like ours are evident for us all to see. We must be bold to call out those whose actions and inactions led to this war, and those whose actions and inactions continue to fuel it or impede a peace deal. Prime Minister Dr. Nkrumah, writing for the African Journal in 1958, said, and I quote, "There are above all three traits of foreign policy. First is to see Africa free. The second is determination to pursue a foreign policy based on non-alignment. The third is the urgent need for economic development," end quote. We cannot keep quiet while people continue to die in the Gaza Strip. By the same token, it is absolutely barbaric for innocent people, particularly children, to be killed in cold blood in Israel, as shamefully occurred on October 7, 2023, or for the state of Israel to continue to exist under insecurity. We must be heard on the ongoing exchanges of missiles between Israel and Iran. Mr. Speaker, we must not look on for powerful states to exploit this situation to annex foreign territories, or as they put it, to take over jurisdiction of other nations. Both the United Nations Charter, Article 2, Clause 4 specifically, and the United Nations Declaration on Principles of International Law concerning friendly relations and cooperation among states prohibit the acquisition of territories by threats or use of force. Indeed, this principle has assumed what practitioners of public international law refer to as, quote, "use cogents," end quote, meaning it is so fundamental that no derogation is permitted, and we are enjoined by Article 40 of our national constitution to promote respect for this law. Mr. Speaker, we must rise up and speak against the inhumane treatment of foreign nationals by other nations, including the mistreatment and mass deportation currently taking place in the United States. Earlier this year, the AU held its 38th ordinary session on the theme, quote, "Justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations," end quote. While these consistent calls for reparations for historical injustice go unheeded, it is unacceptable for our people who are victims of this historical injustice to continue to be treated in this manner by the same people who have contributed to their plight. Mr. Speaker, cannot also be acceptable for powerful states who have historically contributed to the climate crisis, who even today continue to be the major contributors to this climate phenomenon, and who over the years have failed to honor their commitments to contribute financially to tackle the climate crisis, to resolve from international agreements aimed at protecting planet Earth and future generations. We must call out such nations and ensure that we all work together towards a common future. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the international system is inherently dynamic, and our foreign policy formulation must be equitably adaptable. A developing country like ours should pursue a foreign policy that meets both domestic and international goals and favors all actors in the international community. And on this note, let me, Mr. Speaker, finally conclude by paying glowing tribute to our country's foreign ministers who have worked tirelessly over the years to promote Ghana's foreign policy objective. Mr. Speaker, I refer to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who served as Ghana's first foreign minister from 1957 to 1958, and later from 1962 to 1963.
Ebenezer Kojo Bosio, who served from 1958 to 1959 and from 1963 to 1965. Akua J, a member of the Big Six, who served as foreign minister from 1959 to 1961 to 1962. Alhaji Imoro Igala, who served in the First Republic as foreign minister from 1960 to 1961. Alex Kwesin Saki, who served from 1965 to 1966. Lieutenant General Joseph Arthur Ankra, who served as head of state and concurrently as foreign minister from 1966 to 1967. John Willie Kofi Halley, the first Inspector General of Police, who doubled as foreign minister from 1967 to 1968. Patrick Dankwa Enin, the first foreign minister in the Second Republic in 1969. Victor Owusu, the lawyer and politician who served as foreign minister from 1969 to 1971. William Oforiatta, another member of the Big Six, who served as foreign minister from 1971 to 1972. Major General Nathan Apia Aferi, the chief of defense staff, who doubled as foreign minister in 1972. Colonel Kwame R.M. Ba, who served as foreign minister from 1972 to 1975. Colonel Roger Joseph Ato Jipelo Fele, a member of the National Redemption Council, who served from 1975 to 1979. Isaac Kojo Chinibua, a distinguished academic, who served from 1979 to 1981. Dr. Obedio Asamoah, from 1982 to 1997, Ghana's longest-serving foreign minister. Professor Kwame Ahoy, who served as acting foreign minister in 1997. James Victor Gbewu, 1997 to 2001. Hackman Owusu-Ajiman, 2001 to 2003. The distinguished and outstanding statesman of our country, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 2003 to 2007. Honorable Akwesi Osei-Agyei, 2007 to 2009. Mohamed Mumuni, 2009 to 2013. The United Nations Secretary General Special Representative for Libya and head of United Nations Support Mission in Libya, Her Excellency Hannah Sewa Tete, who served from 2013 to 2017, and the new Secretary General for Commonwealth, Her Excellency Ayiko Bochi, who served from 2017 to 2025. Mr. Speaker, while honoring our past foreign ministers, it is fitting to once again warmly congratulate our new foreign minister, a member of Parliament for North Tongue, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and Willie Moon, to work tirelessly with integrity and courage to lift the flag of Ghana high on the international stage as a true black star of Africa. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much with the history. Yes, Honorable James Agaga.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Let me commend my brother, the Honorable Abu Jinapor, for treating us to such an elaborate statement on Ghana's foreign policy. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt in my mind that Ghana's foreign policy has been one of non-alignment since independence, and this position has been very consistent, except that from time to time, various governments have adopted a certain posture, which on the face of it may suggest a departure from our non-aligned status, but that core principles which undergirds our foreign policy objectives has really never changed. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement alluded to what some academic said in putting out a statement on a foreign policy. And if my memory serves me right, he said that one academic, I didn't get the name right, actually said that Kwame Nkrumah sacrificed Ghana on the altar of Pan-Africanism. This is a direct quote from the statement ably made by the Honorable Abu Jinapor. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to disagree with the academic who made this statement, which has now become the subject of a quotation, by my learned brother, the Honorable Abu Jinapo. The history does not support this statement at all. At all. Kwame Nkrumah was very clear from day one. In fact, when he moved the motion of destiny before Parliament, what he intended to do with respect to the independence movement and his aspirations were very clear. In fact, when he declared independence at the old polo grounds, once again, his intentions were very clear. Now, the question to ask is, did Ghana, did the citizenry of this country endorse Kwame Nkrumah's foreign policy initiatives, which found expression in the Pan-Africanism concept that Kwame Nkrumah developed? The answer is the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians endorsed the Pan-Africanism concept that Kwame Nkrumah canvassed for. And so when he moved the motion for independence, even though today the forebears of those who opposed the motion for independence, some of them are in this house, the motion received overwhelming approval. Mr. Speaker, that motion received overwhelming approval, and the Hansard would bear me out. In fact, when Kwame Nkrumah eventually declared independence at the old polo grounds, Mr. Speaker, if you watch the videos, you would see how the crowd cheered him on. That crowd was representative of the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians. They endorsed Pan-Africanism. And what was Pan-Africanism all about? Pan-Africanism found expression in Kwame Nkrumah's famous statement, and I quote him, "The independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent." So anybody believes that it was proper for us as Ghanaians to be independent, whilst our neighbors in Angola would continue to be, entangled in the shackles of colonialism, or anybody thinks that our brothers in Guinea, it was proper for Ghana alone to be independent, whilst our brothers in Guinea, when they struggled to free themselves from the shackles of colonialism, and the French colonial administration decided to take away even phone lines, real tax, pencils, typewriters. Some people expected that Ghana should have folded its hands and allowed our brothers in Guinea to perish because they had dared to free themselves from the shackles of colonialism. Mr. Speaker, Kwame Nkrumah rose to the occasion and rightfully advanced an amount of 10 million pounds, Ghanaian pounds at the time. It was a grant, so that the independence of Guinea would work. That was Pan-Africanism. How can anybody in his right frame of mind say that Kwame Nkrumah, when he embarked upon those steps to safeguard the independence of Guinea, sacrificed Ghana on the altar of Pan-Africanism? And that is where I disagree with that particular statement. Mr. Speaker, having said so, I want to point out once again that following the collapse of the Soviet Union, prior to the collapse itself, the world order was bipolar world politics. So we spoke about bipolarity at the time as the world order. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the United States became a hegemon, sort of. And so we started talking about unipolar world politics. That became the order, the world order. But the maker of the statement has made it very clear. Following America's own imposition of tariffs, the deportation of citizens of various nationalities resident in the United States, the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, the Israel-Iran war, and so many other developments. It is very clear that
Honorable
the days
James,
of...
if I leave you, what I know about you, you will lecture us. So just...
Mr. Speaker, I'm winding up. So it has become very clear.
Leader, I'll come to you so that you... well. Honorable, hold on.
Speaker, the requirements and the imperatives of Order 93.5 is clear without no debate. 93.5, he should revert his mind. Speaker, he's in breach of Order 93.5. We are all interested in the details, but you cannot breach Order 93.5. Well, let him refer himself to Order 93.5.
Mr. Speaker.
Order 93.5. A member may comment on the statement for a period not exceeding 5 minutes. And the comment shall not provoke debate.
Oh,
Honorable James, you've already commented more than 10 minutes.
Mr.
So just
Speaker,
conclude.
The truth of the matter is that the statement is about 18 pages long.
No. It's about 18 pages, and the speaker admitted it. So I have no...
I'm just about to
So
conclude.
just wind up.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Just wind up.
2 minutes. So, Mr. Speaker, the world order now, in fact, unofficially, is multipolar in nature. The centers of global power have shifted. The United States is not the global hegemon that it used to be. Today, China is rising, India is rising, we are talking about a resurgent Russia. And so the centers of global power are beginning to shift, and Ghana must align very well. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement alluded to the eruption of military coups in the Sahel and the eventual breakaway of the Alliance of Sahel states, and then he had actually admonished that Ghana needs to properly recalibrate its relations with those states so that we can continue to have free trade relations with those states. I congratulate him for making such a statement. And to conclude, Mr. Speaker, to conclude, just to draw the attention of the maker of the statement that His Excellency President Mahama has taken steps in that regard. An ambassador has been appointed to enhance relations, a special envoy, to enhance relations between Ghana and the Alliance for Sahel States.
Thank you.
I thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Asafoje, 5 minutes. Honorable Chief Whip, you drew my attention to that provision that, so Honorable Member, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would also want to commend the maker of the statement for such an elaborate and extensive details and a chronology of travel Ghana has gone through when it comes to our international diplomacy and foreign policy. Speaker, quick one. I want to also state it, that the maker of the statement must be on record that he is not against Pan-Africanism. No. Speaker, what he read, which is an academic work, and quoted Peter Omare, blatantly putting it in 1970 in a book, The Anatomy of African Dictator. Nkrumah sacrificed Ghana on the altar of Pan-Africanism. Others have vehemently held a contrary view, and the jury is out there on this matter. Mr. Speaker, I think that must be placed on record. And still, today, the jury is out there on this particular matter. Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement again took us through a litany of distinguished individuals that have held the mantle of our foreign ministry, international diplomacy. And all of them have had one common interest. The interest is to project the image of Ghana in the international space. The speaker, successfully, we have all been able, or they have all been able to achieve that through diplomacy, strict in this sense. The speaker, quite currently, we've had some few tests of our resolve as a country in our diplomatic circles. The speaker, first among these tests was the closure of the embassy in Washington. The speaker, we have still been waiting for an opportunity to hear the minister respond to some of these issues on the floor of Parliament, clearing all issues that Parliament needs to know. Mr. Speaker, we think that position was the height of it that a country can go, particularly Ghana can go, by closing our diplomatic platform in such a very important key strategic country like Washington. Mr. Speaker, I can tell you that it is even part of the reasons why Ghana has been highlighted as part of the countries that US even wants to ban. Because, Mr. Speaker, diplomacy is not propaganda. Diplomacy is not eye-serving. Mr. Speaker, diplomacy requires negotiations. Diplomacy requires back-channel talks. Diplomacy requires consultation. So it is important. Mr. Speaker, again, in the recent Morocco-Sahrawi Republic event and issue, Mr. Speaker, on the global market,
Honorable Arundom, are you drawing my attention that his time is up?
No. He just started. Mr. Speaker, I just started. Mr. Speaker, I just started, please.
Okay. My timer is there. Yes.
Speaker, I saw my brother, the minority chief whip, practically signaling the Honorable Asafo-Adjei to hit there, to hit that point, to stay on. He should stay on that point. The closure of the embassies. Why? Conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, on the Morocco-Sahrawi Republic issue, Mr. Speaker, Ghana and the SWA president about leaving office made a profound statement and communicated same to the two respective countries. Mr. Speaker, what did we see? We saw the foreign minister of our country going to Sahrawi to assure them of their support and commitment and ensuring the sovereignty of the Western Sahara. As we are then coming back to Morocco, again to assure Morocco of our commitment, of our support, of their plan in keeping Western Sahara. As we got in the international front, it leaves a whole lot of confusion and chaosness as to where we stand, what our position is, and what we intend to do with our current ministry. Mr. Speaker, the next one, because of my time, is the Israel and Iran issue. Mr. Speaker, I saw a publication from the ministry clearly indicating an evacuation notice for Iran without an evacuation notice for Israel. Mr. Speaker, justifiably, the intelligence unit of Iran, or Tehran, that has been hit, is close to the ambassadorial area. And that is understandably so that you would evacuate every embassy around that area. Mr. Speaker, when you come to Israel, Israel have 3 strong defense shields. They have the Iron Dome defense shields, they have the David String defense shield, and they have the Arrowhead defense shield. Mr. Speaker, all these defense shield has been breached by Iran. Yet we have not seen any evacuation plan for the good people of Iran. Mr. Speaker, the Iranis have signaled the Israelis in Tel Aviv that they should evacuate. It is important that
where we are going to.
Mr. Speaker, it is important that some of these things are part of our international foreign policy issues and must be stated.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, let me wind up. Mr. Speaker, let me wind up.
Wind up. We've gone beyond 5
Mr. Speaker, let me
minutes.
wind up. Mr. Speaker, to wind up, I want to add that Ghana have put in a lot of effort to gain the global recognition that we have in this world, which is the reason why we must guard against our international relations policy and diplomacy tactics well. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to support and congratulate the maker of the statement
thank you.
Making this very solid and lucid statement.
Thank you. Let me come to leadership. Let me come to leadership.
Mr. Speaker, do you have anything? When we speak, you won't speak because you speak before we speak. Okay, we yield it to Zuela.
Honorable, you won't speak very well. So,
leadership yielded to Zuela.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much, leadership, for the opportunity.
If the leader is yielding to a member, it has to be rooted through you. It has to be rooted through the speaker. But you need to seek. Speaker, he needs to seek your clearance.
Honorable leader, he indicated.
I didn't hear. Especially
she indicated.
No. Speaker, he should do the right thing. Especially when the speaker said leadership. And you get up, you won't seek clearance from the leader. You say you are yielding. It's not done.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, this man should be careful when it comes to women issues.
Don't worry.
I just needed to ask you permission to yield to a woman, then you are here crying.
Dating the woman.
And why should it be dating a woman?
He's anti-women. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you very much, leadership, for yielding to me. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me congratulate my brother, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Damango, for putting together that statement. Mr. Speaker, I intend to adhere strictly to Article 93, Order 93.5. So I'm not going to go overboard. I have no intention of debating the statement. But Mr. Speaker, in today's world, in contemporary world politics and diplomacy, I want to let my brother know, my junior brother, that a lot of the issues he related to in the statement he espoused are very archaic. The world has moved. The world has moved from the Yempini days. The world that we live in today is about pragmatism. It's about what we can do and what ought to be done and what we need to do. And that is why I will not allow my brother, the Honorable Asafwaje, to peddle untruths. He has no way and he has no evidence that Iran breached any of the Israeli anti-missiles. He has no proof. So we are not, and I will urge you, Mr. Speaker, to request Hansard to expunge that from the records. Mr. Speaker, the second thing that he needs to know, when two nations get into a tangle, any commonsensical thing to do is to look at the affected person. And so if the foreign minister, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, requests evacuation of Ghanaians from Iran, he's only being sensitive to what has to be done. Israel is busy showing might. They probably don't need any evacuation around that place. But if Israel goes attacking Iran, and we have Ghanaians living in Iran, the first thing for any sensible leader to do is to evacuate them. And so, Asafaje, please, diplomacy, foreign relations has moved from the era of drinking tea and chewing biscuits. It is what we do with the mandate of the people. And remember that whatever we do has to affect the lives of the people positively. So when the foreign minister goes to sign visa-free agreement with Morocco, the foreign minister is working in the interest of Ghana. And Ghanaians are not only NDC people. They are not only Kwame Nkrumah faction or Dankwa Buziaist. They are Ghanaians. And I will urge you, Mr. Asafueje, and your colleague, my brother, Minister for MP for Damango, to watch the international scene very carefully. I doubt if you asked the USA where they are aligned to today, whether they can say for sure where they stand. Ask the United Kingdom. In 7 years, from 2010 to 2015, the UK alone has had over 8 prime ministers. Interrogate that and ask what is causing the democracy that they are suffering now. And so when President Nkrumah said, we are not aligned, we are looking forward, we are looking to the interest of the people of Ghana, he meant exactly that. And that is exactly where Ghana is today. We're looking at the interest of Ghana. We cannot get involved in one way or the other.
Thank you.
To the east or the west, we are not there. We are looking forward. And we want to remain focused, looking forward. Mr. Speaker, let me tell the maker of the statement, beautiful as his statement is, and I know he's traveled the world. Most of our ministers and government appointees go everywhere, and they see how the world has changed. I want to beg them to just juxtapose Ghana today against any of the other countries, including China, and tell us whether you can call this progress. Whether you can call it progress in terms of how governance has affected the lives of the people. So we are looking at what will benefit the people of Ghana.
Thank you.
And not whether we are pro this or pro that.
Thank you.
In any case, Mr. Speaker, if they choose to do 18-page statements, you have to allow us to breach Order 93.5.
Thank you.
Because you cannot respond to that in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, we will take the last statement for the day. And the statement is coming from a member for Nandom on the deplorable conditions in the prisons in Ghana. Honorable Richard Cooley, you have the floor now.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I think there has been...
Speaker, with respect, is it the case that the Honorable Dapa's statement will not be taken today?
We'll take it tomorrow. Yes. This is the last statement we are taking. We take the past statements tomorrow. So all those who have been billed to contribute, please make time for it tomorrow. I beg of you. Yes, Honorable Richard Curry.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask your leave to make a suggestion. I wrote the other statement last week, but this one came as an emergency. So I intended to substitute, to step down that one and take the one on a rainstorm that hit my constituency. So that that one can be taken later on.
No, Honorable Member, so many statements has been admitted, but I'm taking those one I think have national outlook. The conditions in the prisons in Ghana, I think is very crucial. That's why I am picking that one. So I pick it not necessarily because you are reading, but I just picked the statement and it happens to be you. So I want that statement to be read.
Right, Honorable Speaker, with due respect, I don't have that one right here with me. But this one is pretty short. If, with your permission, I should be allowed to take this one.
Leadership.
No, it's just 3 pages and not 18 pages.
Speaker. Sit down. Speaker, clearly with the prayer that my brother Honorable Kuri is making, it means that we may have to take his present statement in pursuance of the 93-1. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, if I may read. By the indulgence of the House and leave of the Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance at the time appointed for statements under Order 67. Speaker, so what it says is that even though I have a statement that has been admitted and due to be presented on the floor, there's an urgent matter arising in respect of another matter in my constituency. So, Speaker, I pray that we, in pursuance of this order, we hear him on the matter that is very urgent, so that we defer his admitted statement and determine his fate at a future date, Mr. Speaker. I pray you. Humbly submitted.
Yes, Honorable
Speaker, if it is the case that the honorable member is coming under 95, he should say so. If he's coming under 95, he should say so.
Or
95. No, before then, before 93-1. Because 95 gives him the opportunity to withdraw the statement. 95. And then 93-1, there are conditions. If you recall the earlier standing order that was repealed, it was incumbent upon him, the member, to submit the terms of the statement ahead of time. Now, when we amended the orders, it's saying that with the leave of the Speaker and the indulgence of the House. But of course, we are masters of our own rules. Speaker, the point is that you have not seen or cited that statement. The Speaker, no, yes, but if it is urgent matter, the Speaker needs to be given a prior notification. You cannot, out of the blue, get up and read your statement. The Speaker needs to see it. So I am amenable if, Leader, Honorable Eche, if you can take a look at the statement and you think it's not offensive to our rules, I have no problem. He can go ahead, Speaker, and with the leave of the Speaker, he can go ahead and make that statement coming under 93-1.
Yeah, hold on. Mr. Speaker, my prayer before you is guided by events of last week. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, the Speaker indicated that when we are confronted with a procedure like this, and you proceed under 95, then the new statement will have to be admitted subject to conditions. What are the conditions? It has to be referred to the table office, 1. 2, table office will have to schedule it for possibly a future date. And we don't want to go through that laborious and circuitous procedure. So we want to proceed under 93.1. 93.1 permits him to, with the leave of the Speaker and indulgence of the House, to raise a matter of urgent nature. And 93.2 says that Speaker will admit that subject to modifications. So, my brother, thank you very much.
Let's.
That's in breach of 93.8. 93.8 says the clerk shall make available to members copies of admitted statement. He has not fulfilled that. Speaker, as I said, I preface my statement that if my good friend is making pleadings that as we being masters of our own rules, we should temper with the rules, that's fine. He can go ahead. Speaker, with your leave, he can go ahead and do it.
Well. So, Honorable Eche.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Speaker, this is the beauty of the game. My brother knows that we haven't crossed that bridge. We are still trying to cross 93.1 and 93.2.
Yes.
So if subject to admissibility, if we meet those conditions, then quickly 93.8 will kick in, making available sufficient copies for members.
Well.
So that they can
on
comment.
that note, I may admit it as an urgent statement. And if it is urgent statement, it means you are not necessarily going to read, you are going to just raise the issues. Honorable Query, are you with me? You are just going to be given the floor to raise the issue that you think is an urgent issue. If you want to read, then probably you have to let the table have the statement, and members who have copies, and the statement ought to be admitted. So I'm considering it as an urgent statement that you are going to raise. Is that all right? Honorable Kurai, I am with you.
Mr. Speaker.
Other than that, I can make a copy. I can just give you this copy so that you read for us. I'm coming. Let him do. Honorable Kurai, I'm giving you the options. If you are coming under Ordinance 93.1, which is more or less an urgent issue, I will allow you to raise the statement, not necessarily reading it. Because if you want to read it, the statement ought to be admitted, and the 93.8, as Anor is raising, will come to play. But I'm taking the statement as an urgent statement that you want to raise, and which might not go through the process of admissibility and those kind of things.
Speaker.
Or you find that difficult?
Speaker, wait. Speaker, so by way of guidance, so Honorable Query, you are going to speak to the urgent matter. You are not going to touch the statement that has been admitted. So touch on the urgent matter and let's make progress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the leave of this.
Okay. I think, Speaker, the honorable colleague should not take this personal. It is not personal at him. We have a precedent in this house. We have a precedent. Speaker, the honorable AU, a free AU. It was the same situation. Speaker, if I have your attention, the honorable a free AU, his situation was the same. The speaker ruled that no, he couldn't come under 93.1. Yes. You see, well, let's understand that all of us have shortfalls, we have difficulties, the rules are made for us. When he got to a free year, the first deputy insisted that he will not be allowed to present the statement.
Honorable,
It's not-
hold on. I'm coming.
I am, Speaker,
Honorable, I haven't called you.
Can I conclude?
Yeah, conclude.
I am not a litigant. And my colleague will bear me out. We have worked together as colleagues. But when the gun turns, and then you vary your argument, it's important we make reference to precedent.
Well.
In the same...
Don't listen to John Jinapo.
Speaker, in the case of a free Honorable Free AU, the first deputy ruled that he would not permit him to do it.
Well.
I wish the first deputy was
Honorable.
I wish the first deputy sat here.
Honorable.
You see, so...
Honorable, hold on. I was here with respect to Honorable FEA's one. Honorable FEA's one and this one, the difference is it was the same statement that he wanted to more or less do it as an agent. But this one is not the same statement. This is a different statement that he wants to do by way of agent nature. So, Honorable, I have admitted, I've agreed. Yes.
We will defer to you on any day. And Speaker, the interpretation of the rules is in your bosom.
Yes.
So I am not challenging you. Speaker, if I wish to challenge your ruling, I know the routes by which I want to come by. But let this serve as a good precedent that one day all of us who may recall.
Honorable, you phrase it.
Yes. Because he stands in breach of 93.8. He's in breach 93.8. Members don't have copies. Honorable, don't worry, you will do your statement, but get the fact. Get the fact. And this is parliamentary jurisprudence. You should get the fact. Speaker, having said that, I submit to you and I yield to you.
Thank you. Honorable Richard Cooley, let's hear you. Try to paraphrase and make a statement out of the urgent nature you want to let Ghanaians hear.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. On the 13th of June, in my constituency, there was a very severe rainstorm that hit quite a large area in the district. The rainstorm ripped off the roofs of over 100 houses in one village called Tupari, and about 23 in another village. And the issue is quite severe. The JSS school was brought down, and therefore the children are no longer going to school. Fortunately, no casualties were recorded except the destruction of property. So the situation is very dire. And as you are aware, we are now in the rainy season. So the people don't have anywhere to stay. So the situation needs the attention of everybody. And I was coming to make this statement not to raise any controversial issue, but just to report what happened out there. It looks like the Upper West, Laura reported today of the death of students, and we are neighbors. And I also now have this problem, and it happened 2 days in between them. So the situation is quite dire. I don't want to go further to elaborate on this issue, but to say, please, we have contacted most of the stakeholders, and We have actually already contacted Get Fund to see if they could, as a matter of agency, do some repairs on the school block so that
the MP for Nandom for raising this very important matter. It concerns Lambuse as much as it does to Nandom. On the 27th of April, we had a rainstorm like that. A second one occurred on the 27th of May, and our only E block, the roof is gone. And this has students in. So currently, it's a very precarious situation for us. And the rainstorm he has just described also swept through portions of my constituency. In fact, my own home in the constituency has been without electricity since the 13th of June. And communities like Kocha, Sentu, Bengbala, Kukuwo, all in the Lambuse constituency have been without electricity because of the distraction of several electricity, high tension and low tension poles. So it's a very dire situation, and we want to call, in addition to the Ministry of Education, to provide urgent assistance to these schools because school is in session. Also on the NEDCO and VRE, to try to restore electricity supply to the affected communities. But this predicament, Right Honorable Speaker, brings to the fore the effect of climate change in these communities. Tree felling in our constituencies, and the global climate change is contributing to this. And I think that we all must rise up to this challenge and exhibit behaviors that will minimize such catastrophes. But we call on all well-meaning Ghanaians to assist us in this very difficult time. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go to Impraiso.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I sincerely want to empathize with my colleague from Nandom. Indeed, such disasters is something that we all do not hope for. I mean, if you are a member of parliament and you are in Accra and the phone rings and you are faced with this situation, the burden that it comes with is something that all of us would not want to carry. And so I can appreciate the concern from our good brother from Nandom and my good friend, Doctor from Lambushe. However, in all his brief statement, I did not sense the role of NADMO. And the Speaker is looking to me that the NADMO that in times past we would witness them rush to such scenes, provide relief items, and to a larger extent even support communities and solve problems for them, are no longer there. In Lambushe, in the month of April, schools have been ripped off, and NADMO is doing nothing about it. They are now writing to Get Fund, trying to catch the attention of education minister. It looks like now NADMO is defunct. If that is the case, and they need help, they should come to this house so that we help them raise some funds so that they are able to solve such problems. That should not be the burden of the MP. If you were to talk to the MP in private, he will tell you that he's trying to raise private money to go and solve the problems, when we have a state institution called NADMO, which is responsible for providing immediate relief for such occurrences. So please, let us not politicize it. Let's not politicize it. It is a reality that in the last 5 months, NADMO seems to have gone down. And there's the need to do more. There's the need to do more to pump life to pump life into the National Disaster Management Body. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I empathize with my colleague, and I pray that His Excellency John Mahama would, with the scarce resource that is available to him, instruct NADMO to quickly go to his aid, support him, It needs help. It needs help. So this is not the time to politicize it. It needs help. So NADMO, we are calling on you. Stop taking videos and pictures and putting on TikTok and go to the aid of our brother. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Should come up, and even Ghana National Fire Service, to educate our people, because rampant environmental destruction, such as indiscriminate bushfire burning, tree felling, indiscriminate land degradation, including associate environmental destruction, are becoming so rampant. Therefore, our communities need some kind of education that these things lead to environmental depletion. The climate cover is becoming completely depleted. A time will come, it will no more be the issue of Nandom alone that Ghanaians will be looking at. For that time, it will be the whole Ghana, whereby there may not be anybody to write the history about us. Therefore, the issues of environmental degradation must be taken seriously. It's against this background that I want to call on the various schools in our country. It's very important and timely, very relevant, that the president has launched an initiative known as One Man, One Tree initiative. We want the schools to go back to the old days where school children were made to plant trees on their compounds. This all help to check environmental degradation, such as rainstorms that we are seeing now. Some schools were completely devastated because there were no trees or no environment cover around their school compounds. It's against this background, we want to call on the stakeholders in education, especially the headmasters, the teachers, to all take tree planting exercise seriously around their schools, and also educate our farmers to stop indiscriminate devastation of the environment, so that our environment cover will be protected for the good of all Ghanaians. Thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to my friend's statement. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Lastly, let me listen to the lady. You want to speak?
No, sir.
Do you want to speak? Okay. Let me go to Elmina.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I sympathize with our brother, with the issues that he has. And I know that when there's any national disaster, they want to call on NADMO. But what I wanted my brother OPK to understand is this. NADMO has not had resources for several years. It's not just the last 5 months. Weren't you in this country when we had flooding in the Volta region? What did NADMO have at that time? What did NADMO give? Master, you see, we are politicians, but sometimes, let's make sure that we tell the truth. Let's make sure we tell the truth. NADMO hasn't been resourced for several years. You can't just say that it's just this last 5 months. So,
honorable
yes.
member for Elmina.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were going to contribute today.
Exactly.
Why?
I'm contributing.
Focus on the issue. Don't focus on honorable OPK.
Mr. Speaker, I'm contributing to it. You see, the other side, you hear them talking about posterity. That's all that I wanted to explain to them. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, I want to come to leadership. Leadership. Oh, it's over. Let me thank you for honorable member. Tomorrow I'll give you the opportunity. So let me thank all of you for contributing to the statements. We have had 4 statements. And let me again also thank the owners of the statements. Chief Whip, do you want to speak?
Father, not at all. Not to interrupt you, but to just say that our brother has a statement admitted for, it's a commemorative one. But
you can take it tomorrow.
Yes, gauging the sense of the House. I'm just pleading that tomorrow it be prioritized for him.
So tomorrow, yes, the DAPA one and this one is certain.
Prioritized.
Yes.
Very grateful, Mr.
Very
Speaker.
well. So, Honorable leadership, any indication?
Speaker, the mood of the House is very clear. We may pray you that we adjourn and come back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Vetting is still ongoing, and some other committees to us.
Then you can, since you have not exhausted the 5 hours,
yes.
You can move a motion.
Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, may I move that we be adjourned till tomorrow 2 p.m.
Very well.
Speaker, I second this motion. A few words. Yes, Speaker, in doing so, just a few words.
Immediately you got up, Professor Barrio was just laughing.
Yes, Speaker, he's my good friend.
Oh, I see.
Speaker, I looked through the order paper today, and my respected Chief Whip will bear with me that the order paper today is skeletal. Most skeletal. Well, if I reference the update the majority, the leader of the House gave us, the number of bills, the number of agreements, today we did not do even a single public business. Are you proud of that? Just that, are you just what? Even that one, it was order paper addendum. Order afterthought. It was an afterthought. So I will urge my respected, I want to urge, so in seconding the motion, I want to urge my colleagues. You see, the health of honorable members are very important. We pile up the business and then look behind you. So they pile up the business and then few days to rising, they'll bring everything. It affects our health. So, Speaker, having said this, I gladly second the motion.
Thank you. I think tomorrow we have questions. The gender minister will have questions to answer. The works and housing minister will have questions to answer. The labor, jobs and employment minister also have questions to answer. At least tomorrow we have 3 ministers. Well, I don't know. I don't have the foreign affairs here. Very well. So, honorable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion to adjourn is carried, and that this House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow, 2 o'clock afternoon. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock afternoon. That is 14 hours Greenwich Mean Time. The House stands adjourned.